Welcome to the Planescape, where good and evil clash, where law and order maintain their delicate balance, the battleground for gods and monsters. Many heroes have written their legends in the stars of the astral sea, but these are not their stories. The Aspera and her crew, Kyana, Finbar, Virla, and Dani, may not be the stuff of legends yet, but they're definitely rolling with difficulty.
Hello and welcome to our little planes-hopping D&D campaign, folks. My name is Austin, your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, and as always, I am joined by my exes employing exes for extremely exerting expeditions. Say hello.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, we're
So what are you going to do when we run out of episodes per letter of the alphabet?
I've repeated letters of the alphabet a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Which season did I start doing this in? Season 2? In Season 2,
yeah.
2 and 3 back-to-back were M's. I started with P, and then I did M, and then M.
How come I've not noticed?
We've had many A's, and there's been a bunch of M's. Apparently, I really like that letter. Anyway, we're so excited to have you back for Season 4. Goodness, I almost screw that up every time because it's so mind-boggling. Season 4, Episode 3. Before we get started, we do have to give a special thanks to our sponsor this week. So, Sophia, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I will pick up the baton that you are passing to me and start hurtling down the track to the next relay. But in the meantime, why don't I try and use this interim of time between runner to runner to tell you about today's adventure, which is brought to you...
What's so funny is I was trying to hold in a cough, and then I was like, I can't ruin this take. I'm sorry.
Today's adventure is not brought to you by seasonal allergies. It is in fact brought to you by World Anvil. World Anvil is a browser-based world-building tool designed to help you, the creator, write and world build, all while keeping your work organized and in one place. World maps, calendars, customizable wikis, visual timelines, and more let you decide how best to build your world. And when you're ready to write, look no further than the built-in word processor. You can write your prose directly in World Anvil to keep every step of the process in one place. We all know TTRPGs are all about the power of friendship, and with real-time collaboration, you can work with your players or other creators on the same project. On top of all that jazz, World Anvil has an exciting feature called whiteboards. This visual canvas allows creators to freely draw out their ideas, adding diagrams, flowcharts, mood boards, and more. If you're a more visual creator, this feature is perfect for you. You can chart out character arcs, storyboard key scenes, maybe draw schematics for your new Tears of the Kingdom build, which is a thing we've been discussing before these sessions a lot, so I'm going to count it as, to this. But, artificers maybe
really
need that
dated.
too.
No,
there is no way people have
for
stopped
decades.
playing Tears of the Kingdom a month from now.
That's fair.
You could, design a battle map and add little annotations and whatnot and all sorts of extremely cool things that are unique to whiteboards. So, why not use them to help see the story in your mind made manifest come to life with World Anvil. Interested? Of course you are, and it only gets better because for our listeners, World Anvil is offering a special discount. Just use code PLUG at checkout for 40% off a yearly membership. That's code PLUG, P-L-U-G, at checkout for 40% off a yearly membership. And thank you again to World Anvil for sponsoring today's adventure. And with that, I have raced however many meters you gotta do in a relay, and I am passing the baton back to Austin for us to continue this marathon relay of sorts.
Shouldn't there be a third person to pass
Well,
the
I figured he
baton
just
to?
Yeah,
ran
you would pass
even
it back to
faster
the first
around me
person.
to the next stop so that he could then pick up the baton, and then we'll just keep leapfrogging like this.
Wait, you think
So-
a relay is just one long stretch of track?
No, it's a
You
loop.
can
Not
run
like a
around a
looping-
circular track, so I did. We don't need to talk about
I
it.
love
You
it
can
when
run around
people
Also,
a
he
decide,
wouldn't
circular
have to lap you. He'd just have to stay in the same spot.
When people are like, this
But
is
she'd
my
have to
ideal
run all
city
the way
design,
around.
it's a straight line. It's like, there's a really good reason why cities are not straight lines, actually.
I was discussing.
Yeah, Sophia, there's a really good reason why cities aren't straight lines.
This is unrelated. This is a sporting event. Are you running the whole length of a city in your relay?
Sorry. This was unrelated. I've been severely caffeinated today, and this is my second multi-hour recording session of the day, so you're getting the coffee grounds at the bottom of the cup from me today.
And with that, we reached the finish line to this discussion.
Wow,
and,
Wally bringing it home.
Team rolling with
Snagging
difficulty,
the
too
baton
busy
while everyone else
bickering
is
on the
arguing.
racetrack, come in last place.
If someone could shoot me with the starting pistol, that would be perfect.
I'll gladly.
Those are usually blanks.
They're usually
Oh, everybody should watch the
Usually.
Slow-Mo Guys video that just came out of them firing blanks at stuff to show what actually happens when you shoot something
Yeah,
with a
isn't
blank.
it? I was gonna say, aren't like there's still like a shell in the blank? It's just no like
Yeah.
what is it? No
I
actual.
know
like,
I'm the one
round
who
at the
brought
end
it
of
up, but now I do regret
They-
not letting that perfect segue transition us into the episode. Austin, can we play some D&D?
Yep.
It's not up to me. It's really up to all of you.
I've got
And
more
with
video,
that-
Rex.
When last we left our
That's
heroes,
us.
you went back to hell. Piece of cake at this point. You met some strange little dudes. Some strange not so little dudes.
Oh, that guy.
And Finbar had a surprising, some would say, harrowing encounter with that most fiendish of D&D antagonists, the X. So, Finbar, as you watch Zimrissa disappear into the crowd, picking up right where we left off from last time, what would Finbar like to do?
Okay. Looks like we've got another job on our hands. And I owe someone an apology for what just happened. Can't make that mistake again. Finbar's probably going to head to the crew immediately and then round them up and try to tell them what's going on next.
Sure. Vela, returning from your expedition to the Hall of Concordance, everyone else about the ship, Finbar, easy enough to gather them up.
I'm actually coming back from the library after just
Oh,
reading
that's
up on how to be a good best man.
That's right, yes, thank you. We'll take a D4 guidance for your first best man check when we get to it.
Alright, y'all, gang. Remember earlier we had, I made a very brass decision to go to an associate of mine to help y'all get the ship under your name. It would have been a roundabout way to do that. And y'all weren't too happy about that. You'll find your own way, and indeed, I guarantee I think you guys will. But there was a slight little addendum to sort of the deal that I made. Golzar is very reputable and resourceful individual. Some of his methodology isn't exactly above board. There's deals to be made. And while canceling my part of the deal, I still owe him. And it seems that the time to cash in on whatever favor he needs from me is about now.
So, what? You're saying we have to do a job?
Yeah, we just gotta do a quick little job for my sake, if y'all don't mind.
Okay, did anyone else make any deals with devils, or is it just the two?
He ain't exactly
I was going to say,
a devil.
I feel vindicated upon realizing that I wasn't the first one to make a deal with the devil.
Dani, you haven't made any deals, right? You and me, we're still cool. We're still...
No,
I need
unlike
to-
every other member of this crew, I have not once done anything or created any deals that have resulted in us having to go to another plane, find an object, or fight an enemy. I am free of those. I guess.
Oh, that doesn't count. He's a pre-existing condition. Okay, cool. I was starting to get worried. My sense of normalcy was completely wrong.
Well, luckily, Golzar ain't exactly a devil. He's more like Otto in a lot of respects. But
I don't find
That's
this
not-
comforting for some
That's
strange
not
reason.
better,
It's more manageable, if nothing else.
I suppose.
Okay, how bad is it?
well, on the surface, I don't know. There is a slight little caveat. The messenger that he sent is an old flame of mine.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Oh, just to kick you in the teeth, huh?
Are they crashing the wedding? Do we need to watch out for the wedding?
She's not invited to the wedding, but
If I have anything to say about it.
I will say
Red-eyed Fearla.
She's
Terminator mode.
She's a little tricky. Y'all meet her. Y'all will meet her soon enough. Once we go to Golzar.
Oh.
You can just describe her.
Yeah, how tall is she? Eye color? Hair color?
I can't exactly answer that.
Is she witness protection?
Not exactly. You'll see her when you meet Zimmy. All those questions will be answered. Unless y'all have anything to do, I think it's best we don't keep Golzar waiting.
I'm trying to decide if I should phone Otto and tell him we're going to do a job. Do you have any idea how long this one's going to take? Like, is this a pickup drop-off situation, or are we going to be MIA for another season?
I have no idea. Hopefully it won't take long. And hopefully we have time to tell Otto before we leave. So it's definitely smart to let him know. And then on top of that, I was going to go see Elise. So if you give me like 2 seconds, I have to go see Elise, and I'll meet you guys up at the guild hall.
I think that it's very responsible of you to come to us first instead of informing your fiance.
A lot of things are being thrown in my face right now. It's all up in the air. But yeah. So again, just letting you guys know, a new job. Just get ready to head out real soon. Dani, I don't know about the condition of the ship and whether or not we'll need that, but factor that into some of your plans.
You hear something just go boom, boom, boom,
I gotta handle
somewhere
it.
in the ship.
Don't worry about it.
Oh wait, yeah, it got like 200 hit points banged up last time, didn't it?
Yeah, I got really fucked up.
Whoops.
But none of the conditions are. Dani managed to fix all of the hazards that were going on, so
Okay.
you can still fly it normally.
As long as no one
I would
else
try not to
blows
ram
up
it
the
into
ship,
anything.
we should be fine.
Guild hall in an hour. All right. I gotta go see
Alright.
my little bumblebee.
All right.
What did he call her?
Bumblebee.
Okay, are we up into double digits yet? I haven't been keeping track of the X's, but
I mean, I only know of 3,
Well,
I think.
it's Elise, Sydney,
And then
this
I
one.
don't think Elise
Zimmy
counts
person.
anymore.
Well, yeah.
If she counts.
If
Well,
you,
she will
if
be
you
an
end
ex.
up back with someone, because they were still your ex for a while, but now they're like, is it like a once you're president, that title supersedes any former titles kind of thing? You know, like once
I
you're
mean,
fiance, it sort of
In a
supersedes the
short
ex
amount of
title.
time, that won't matter anymore. A wife is an ex-girlfriend.
Huh.
You can think about it like that, yeah.
So she
I
might
thought you
go
left
from
already.
ex-girlfriend to girlfriend to
Finbar
ex-girlfriend.
left.
We should refer to Elise
Finbar's
as-
gone.
Into the room.
Yeah.
Finbar's ex-girlfriend.
All right. So Finbar, you make your way to Hira. So you're gonna go visit Elise.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way then to Hira's residence of all places. Knock on the door. Greeted by, oh my goodness, Everin.
Everin.
That's his
Yes.
name, isn't it?
Trying to think of his name
I
the
always
other
seem
day.
to forget his name.
Oh man, that's the greatest pull I've ever pulled in my life. I was nervous there. You go knock at the door. Everyone greets you. Ask Finbar, please. Good day. Please come in.
Hey.
And knows exactly where you need to go. Just kind of like gestures you and knows that you can kind of take care of it yourself. At this point, you're more like kind of auxiliary to the staff of the household since you're, you know, the fiance to Elise. So where you go check. She's currently not in the kitchen.
Okay.
But instead you find her in her room, where she is just. When was the last time we saw Elise? We
You
visited
briefly
her.
ran past her after last session
Well,
and did not stop to chat, if I recall correctly.
It's been busy.
Yeah. You come in. She's currently like swearing and cursing. She's got like charcoal over her hands, and she's like rubbing on a piece of paper, and it's just like as it's getting like more and more crumpled as she goes, trying to like like wipe away a mistake that she's made on it. It's just like getting like crumpled and stuck to her hand. She's like swearing and cursing. She hasn't seen you come in yet.
I loudly knock on the door and says, hey Bumblebee, I'm home.
Oh! She like kind of jumps a little bit, looks down at what she was working on, grabs the paper, crumples it into a tight little ball, and then she runs and jumps up and gives you a big hug.
I
It's weirdly reminiscent of not too long ago, actually. Except this time, she comes away and you've got big charcoal handprints on you.
No, this.
Sorry about that. Sorry. Brushes, more charcoal. Shit. Goes and like gets a rag, start cleaning it up.
It's perfectly all right.
Didn't realize you were gonna be back so soon.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, I try to send out a quick sending every day, but it's been busy. A lot of things have been going on with the crew.
Hey, you know the sendings go both ways. I forget to.
It's all right. Just wanted to check in with how you doing.
I am. In what? How do you? Work is good.
Okay.
We're good.
I'm just saying, there's
know,
a lot to plan in the next couple of weeks, and I already got Virla helping me on my corner. I just want to make sure you got things handled on your end, because I know you're gonna stress out.
Absolutely, I don't need any help on my end. I've got it all handled.
You say
not to worry.
You say that every time.
This is me in relaxation.
You say that every
she,
time.
Like, motions too. You see, there's like broken paintbrushes and stuff. She's like, I'm in relaxation mode. Before I go back to work, I've been meal prepping for here ahead of time to make sure that everything is set there, and then working. Contact the guild. Do you imagine you guys have settled on a location to hold it at yet?
Yeah. We've pinpointed a location in the Feywild known as. Hold up, I wrote this down.
Okay. She would object to the Feywild, as she suspects that half of their guests, including herself, may not remember it.
Yes. Oh, right. Yeah. See, this is what I mean. We got to spend more time narrowing some of this stuff down.
I mean, look, I know your family has to travel in, but I just don't think that we should do a destination wedding.
Okay.
Like, everyone... This is the middle of everything.
That's
Everyone
true.
can just come here.
You know what? You're right. We could definitely do that.
Have it on the ship under the stars of the astral sea.
That's pretty good.
We could ask the Lady of Pain to officiate.
Just cool. 12 feet tall, standing over the two of them, looks down at one, looks down
you can
at
tell
the
it's
other.
working when you feel the stabby feelings.
Yeah.
It's like, she looked at me.
See, okay, I think, we definitely need a little more time to plan all this.
Things are coming together. I got the menu picked out, no problem. We're, still settling on a venue. We could do the guild hall. We could do, there's lots of parks.
I like that, yeah.
There's, hold on, I have it somewhere. She goes and she pulls out, like, a scroll that just, like, comedically, like, drops all the way to the floor. And she's like, I've got a list of every place that would be a suitable option here in Sigil. So we just need to start crossing things off the list. And when we're down to the best idea, then we'll know that we've won, and that is the place that we'll choose.
I'm going to sort of grab the scroll out of her hand, just, like, gently put it down. Finbar will whistle, and the pixies will all come out. They'll start cleaning up off the charcoal off of him and Elise. Start tidying up the place a little bit.
I was just gonna get that.
Hey, whoa. Calm down. Between now and the big day, a lot of stuff's gonna be happening. And I don't want you to put too much on your plate, because once you get way too stressed out, you're not fun to be around.
I'm a chef, Finbar. Putting too much on my plate is sort of my job.
Yeah. Well, in the spirit of full transparency, and for you to work a lot of that out,
I'm sure I'm gonna love this next part. What's up?
I ran into Zimmy recently.
Oh. Recently, like last week, or like last month, or
like a couple hours ago. Not even.
Oh, well, I guess that's better. I found out right away. Yeah, I know. I guess that's better.
Well, I wasn't gonna wait. I will say she's up to her.
No, I know you were, but just
usual tricks again. In addition to having a full, guest list, we have all our friends and family around. It might be important to put to make sure a couple people don't show up.
Oh, I've got a longer one of those actually.
Okay. All right. Whatever she says happen. If you do get a chance to speak with her, whatever she says happen, I didn't know. Okay? I didn't know. I just
Now I'm definitely going to get a chance to speak with her. Yeah. You said she's still in the city somewhere?
Yeah. I just want to say I'm sorry. Say it right now. And you let me know.
You don't have to be sorry. Someone's going to be sorry.
Okay. I'm glad you're going to take care of it. And Finbar hugs her, gives her a kiss on the forehead, and is like, okay, all right. I don't got to deal with Zimmy as long as that's you. I love you for that. Now, I got to go on a quick little job with Golzar, and I'll be right back.
Oh, well, now, that's... Oh, God. You gotta do a job for Golzar?
Yeah. I tried to do a thing.
I'm guessing it's not just counting pocket change.
I don't think it's going to be that. I tried to do a thing to help the kids. Kids didn't really like that. I had to walk it back, but Golzar, you can't just walk things back, so it's going to be a whole thing. I'll get it squared away.
Picky. You try to lend a hand, they throw a big...
Well, you gotta understand.
I don't understand them. I know they're your friends. I don't get them.
They all grown now. You should see how far they come. Kyana got this crazy sword now. You should have seen it.
Oh, good. She has a sword. Now she's an adult.
I trust her with it. It's all right. Virla got his family back. His whole crew. You should see him. You should have seen them all together. I wish we could have found a way to keep that memory, but it might be fun to invite them to the wedding, give them an opportunity to just like relax, have fun, have a party's always great. You know me, I like a good party. It might be fun.
Sure, we'll just put them on. I mean, so that sounds like it'd be your side, right?
I don't think of it.
The problem that we have a balance issue that I have been needing to and you see she's like pulls out a seating chart and it's like Finbar's name, like hundreds of names. Most of them are just other Firbolgs, and then her name is like 6 people, 5 of them from the guild and 1 of them's Hira.
Oh no.
He's like, so like there'll be space. I mean, they won't know anyone, but there'll be space on this side.
We'll be on Elisa's side.
Don't think of it as sides. It's not what you're bringing and what I'm bringing. It's what we're bringing together. And that's the important part. Your family is my family.
So like no middle aisle, just kind of a big group of chairs.
Yeah, I don't know. Magic exists, baby girl. We'll find a way to do some sort of entrance.
She slaps you on the arm.
So that we don't gotta walk through an aisle like they do on the material plane. Like cities to do. Figure out a way.
All right. Okay, well, I will work on that stuff because I'm done with this. And you say hello to Golzar.
I will.
Give him my best and be extremely suspicious and careful. Okay?
I'll do what I can.
And if Kyana's got a sword, please watch out for that.
She'll be fine. Dani's got a gun. It's a whole thing.
You know what? Some things you just have to vent. Maybe this could be one. All right. She gives you a kiss. Says, "Go on, finish, come back. I'll see you soon."
All right. Give her a giant hug, and I race out of Heroes and head towards the guild hall.
All right. Is everyone else joining you, or are you just going to speak to Golzar privately?
No. I'll walk in with everyone.
We're all there.
Yeah.
Guild hall in an hour.
Yeah. So, everyone meets the beautiful, vine-covered building. Walk in that familiar echoing hall, footsteps echoing everywhere from the people walking on the balconies, the catwalks up above looking down into this chamber. A familiar sleepy grung sitting at the desk, just blowing a little snot bubble, head down on the thing, just like a little snot bubble, like blowing in and out, like really big.
I send the pixies over to gently wake her up as we approach.
You see, they tap her, she goes, "Oh, hey, Finbar. Hey, how's it going?"
Hey, no, how's it going? Sorry to interrupt your nap.
"Oh, it's good. I'm in the middle of a lot of stuff here." She, moves papers that have dream on them off to the side.
Says, I can see that. We're here to go see Golzar?
Golzar, yeah. He did say you would be coming. Yeah. Here. Hops down, keys. Follow right this way. Plop, plop. Plop, plop. Little wet feet on the ground.
Once again, Finbar patiently follows behind her.
And yeah, you guys get led through as you have many times before, and make your way to the office. This is located in I think perhaps only Finbar has been to this particular room. This is located in a very, very similar, in the same part of the building as the Roundsman Rigs. It's basically the same hallway. It's much further down. You do see printed on the door, Bursar Golzar. No different like last name, first name, anything. Just Golzar. No, knocks, opens the door to let you guys in, and as you guys enter, you see two figures in the office. One, a richly dressed tiger man, fur all over, the whole deal, greens and purples on his robes, lounging back at this just like massive desk. Next to him, you see tall, thin, pale, eyes, skin, hair, white as a bone. In fact, almost difficult to discern features. There's almost a same face vibe about this person as you look at them. But indeed, you're looking at Finbar would know, and you might be able to guess, Zimrisa, who is employed directly under Golzar here in the guild. Golzar sees y'all and stands up, says, Finbar, pleased you were able to make it today. I thought perhaps we would not see you until tomorrow. And these are... has anyone else met Golzar?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think any of us have.
I don't think so. I think Finbar
Maybe
went
in
by
passing,
himself.
but not like officially introduced.
Well, he gives like kind of an extravagant bow. It says, please make yourself comfortable and allow me to introduce myself. I am the Bursar of the Searing Tongue. You may call me Golzar. He reaches out a hand to shake, and you can see typical Rakshasa, his hand is completely reversed. On his left arm, there is a right hand facing out, and on his right arm, there's a left hand facing out. So he's got like, he extends his left hand for you to shake with your right. He goes around, shakes anyone who wishes to it.
Yeah.
Says to Finbar, might I assume that they will also be involved with the process of repaying the debt regarding our transaction?
Yeah, they're going to make that whole process a lot smoother.
Excellent. You are all equally unaffiliated at this point with the guild, thus we should have no problems. Would you like to get to business then?
How urgent is this? We might have some other hang-ups before we head out.
Well, my timeline is not strict, but your window of opportunity for this job may close and become significantly more difficult if you linger for too long. Perhaps best for me to explain, and then all will be made clear. No need to speak in any more subtleties or confusing terms.
Yeah, no, please do.
Certainly. You see he produces a key from around his neck, actually like a small ring of keys, unlocks a drawer in his desk, pulls something out, and stretches out a piece of paper on the desk. He says, we find ourselves in a uniquely uncomfortable position. We have many proprietors of the Searing Tongue across the planescape, those who enjoy the finer things in life. These clients vary in their ethics and attitude. That is not for us to quibble about as long as their gold is real. However, we do have one regular client, famed for his indulgences and hedonism, who tends to ask more of our services than we are typically comfortable providing, and who, frankly, by association with the guild, I find sullies its good name. Luckily, it has come to my attention that he himself may be, pardon the pun, but cooking the books on his end of things. And it could be that his theft of money is what is allowing him to lead such an extravagant lifestyle. If this is true, then obtaining unrefutable proof of such actions would allow us to cleanly and neatly sever our ties from him, thus eliminating a potentially problematic client, and perhaps even serving justice in some form or another.
Are you certain that this is what is happening? I'm not sure whether you're asking us to simply just find evidence, or if we are unable to find evidence, have evidence produce itself one way or another.
I'm never certain of anything. It's my second guessing that has kept me alive, but I am confident. And if it turns out that the evidence does not back up my confidence, then you have still repaid your debt, and I am simply left with a different problem to solve.
Understood.
Who's the client?
The client is myself. The mark is one Conflagrar Yakiv. He is a... So, anyone who speaks, Primordial. So that's Dani, obviously, yes. Anyone who speaks Primordial, and Dani definitely being from the City of Brass, probably Virla, having been there for a long time, know this. Conflagrar is a rank in the military and what's the word I'm looking for? Like social hierarchy of the City of Brass in the Plane of Fire at large, right? It is there are many, like noble titles, there's nobility, but it's also a militaristic city, so being noble and being in the military go hand in hand. So when he says Conflagrar, he's referring to what we would consider someone who is like a colonel, but also a duke. Right?
Okay.
So he's both powerful in terms of like station, but also military. You see, he says, the mark is this Conflagrar. He says he is stationed in a place known as the Castle of Sun and Moon, also called Krak al-Nairan, in the City of Brass. However, he immediately senses your discomfort, Dani, and gives a faint smile and says his habits take him off plane quite frequently, and we are to believe that currently he is far away from his chambers, and they are left as unguarded as a building of such importance as this one ever may be. In other words, now would be the perfect time to enter, see if you cannot locate his suspect record keeping of financial transactions between himself and the higher nobility who assume the money is being spent toward the protection of their city and plane. To sneak in, liberate him of that, return it here, and then we might solve the problem.
Okay, so we just gotta sneak into the mid to high level ranking of City of Brass nobility, find evidence that he's cooking his own books, get out, and that's it, and bring that information back to you.
Exactly as easy as Finbar has described.
And this is
Looks to
the
Dani.
only option Finbar has for repaying this? There's no other possible jobs you would want a Spelljammer to do?
There are many jobs I would like a spelljammer to do, but unfortunately, everyone under my employ is exactly that, under my employ. If they were caught during this mission, it would spell disaster for the reputation of the guild. However, there is plausible deniability for you four. That is why Zimrissa will accompany you, but not take part in anything that may get her captured. You see, Zimrissa looks at Finbar, like his little smile, and then looks over at Virla, gives a wink,
Hello.
goes, "Hey."
Hello.
Yeah, I was about to ask about the I'm not even gonna finish that sentence. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. So I had a feeling she'd be coming with us.
Is primary documentation your only acceptable form of evidence, or can we copy evidence that we find to mitigate the risk of us being found at a later date?
The primary evidence is what will be required to convince his betters. However, you will be passing it off to me, so once you have made clear of Brass, there should be no cause for concern.
Very well.
All right.
I would like to not do this if at all possible, but it seems like there's no fucking other options. So...
I mean, luckily, I don't think we'll need.
Are you familiar with the rock in a hard place?
Unfortunately.
I think in Brass it's the
Good,
frying
then you
pan in the
should
fire.
thrive in this.
Boo.
That's a good one.
I like this one.
Thanks, thanks. I'm working on it.
Points with like a weird backwards upside down claw at Kyana as he says that.
Yeah, weird arm buddy.
Wait, does Zimmy have to come? I know she's good at her job, and this definitely seems like a job that she'd be really good at. But
go ahead and make a persuasion check.
oh god.
To not bring the stealthy person?
Well, it was also explained she can't go in because she can't risk being caught.
Just drop her
So,
off
like,
with
she can
Mandy. They
help
seem like
you.
they would get along.
Oh, okay, that's not great. That's a 9.
Zimrus is there to ensure that the task is completed to satisfaction. I would hate for you to return and say it was impossible, perhaps produce a fake, and we absolve you of your contract. This is understandable, I'm sure.
But we gonna need some ground rules, Zimmy.
I love rules.
Okay.
They're like the best.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. We don't know how long the Duke's gonna be gone, right?
Typically these last days. Benders, I think some people call
All right.
them.
I'm gonna talk with the crew. You know, it's a group thing. You know, we'll figure out how best to do all this, and I think we'll head out whenever we can.
Fantastic. I will send Zimrissa with you. She is well aware of the details we have already obtained, and just to make sure your life is not too difficult, he slides that piece of paper he had forward, and as you guys look down, you notice that it is a schematic. It's a map.
Okay. We got intel. Okay.
Zimrissa will explain it when the time comes. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you see
Ooh.
the interior of the Castle of Sun and Moon.
All right.
We can ask specifics once we are en route. Is there anything that we wish to set in stone here and now, present, both parties present?
Please. I love a final negotiation.
May I see the contract that you had established with Finbar, which was the genesis of this arrangement?
He does produce, he seems to have written it up, although it was a handshake, Finbar. He does appear to have written something down. You don't necessarily have to sign a piece of paper agreeing to a pact with a fiend still binds you. And you see, Virla, that it has been, there's been an addendum. So it essentially says, like, work to be done in the process of the acquiring of the ship, the Aspera, and the parties Beholden, Golzar, and Finbar. And then there's an amendment at the bottom that basically says Finbar waives his right to obtain the Aspera. This reduces the amount of debt required that must be fulfilled, and so you can gather that this is the summation of the debt that needs to be paid from the legal wording.
Well, you know what I want to do. I want to read between the lines, see any hidden
yeah.
layers. I don't think
Go
there
ahead.
will be any.
Well,
but...
I believe it's just an intelligence check I had, right? I had you make for those.
Oh, I'll
So
do
go
it.
ahead, just make a raw intelligence check. Give me an intelligence check raw.
That's an 8. Or sorry, no, 8 plus 4, 12. Not better,
12.
but
He's pretty good at this, so you don't discern anything. You know, you get an accurate read. It's not indecipherable to you with your high intelligence, regardless. But with everything that's going on here, you don't suss out any other hidden. No, there's no hidden gems in there.
yeah, fair enough.
And that contract says that we have to go deal with the brass nobility. There's no other possible missions that could work.
The contract is between myself and Finbar. If you would like to stay behind, by all means.
She's thinking about
Although,
it.
that seems like an agreement to be made with your friends, so why don't I leave you to it? Places his hands on the desk, but they're upside down, so instead of like tapping his fingernails, he like wraps his knuckles, like does like a kind of thing across the desk.
Yeah, no, let's go talk it out.
I get the contract back.
Yes, he takes it. All right. Best of luck. I hope to see you one book richer.
All right, Dani. I can tell you ain't too happy
This
about
is
this
the most pissed I've ever been at any of you. Are you kidding me? I've spent my entire life trying to avoid messing with these guys, and now we have to go into one of their houses?
I thought. Forgive me for misinterpreting. I thought you would have liked it to stick it to the brass.
No! I've spent like 20-something years trying to get them to never look at me again.
Like,
Again.
Again.
In any capacity. I want no one in brass who could do anything to ruin me or anyone I care about to know that I exist.
Except when she does illegal street races.
That is for fun.
You hear that voice of God?
Well, perhaps
Take
you
an
can treat this
inspiration.
as fun as well. I know
No,
that was a very
no.
flimsy excuse.
Oh my god. This is the most illegal thing we've done. In the...
I mean,
I
if
agree.
we-
You know, I'll go out and say it. Finbar, this is worse than the contract that I had to make with my devil.
To be fair, you had your devil by the balls,
that's true.
and he still got something out of you.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but this is the last thing on my ledger, and then I can just go home. There's no more of this. So I get that this is a big ask, and y'all can say no. Me and Zimmy will figure out some way to get in out of this with the info. But
It's true. We make a really
Don't
good
say that.
team.
stop, please.
Team, it's platonic. Don't take it the wrong way.
I have someone you should meet, honestly. I think you would really get along with them.
I love meeting new people like you. What's your name? I don't know. your name.
Don't. Okay, I mean you can tell her name, but okay. So y'all,
Enid, if anyone asks.
this is
I-N-A-D.
this is Imrissa.
And if I ask,
Enid? I don't know how you would say that.
Enid?
I love that. Enid is not a good way to do it, but I adore the concept. Who is that mysterious orange?
Yeah, if
lady?
anyone asks until this is done,
Mm-hmm.
that's...
I mean,
Kyana, I hate to break it to you, you're pretty conspicuous as the only blue color.
Well, here's the thing.
You think I don't fucking know that?
Here's the thing, though. Like,
Yeah, I mean, just putting it
it's
out
not the
there.
only time we've broken into someplace we shouldn't be in. Like last time it was.
I will agree with Dani, this is kind of different.
Yeah, this
There is blowback.
this whole city of brass is structured around these insanely powerful, ruling military guys and genies and whatever, and they're all... There's no moral system. It's not like the Feywild where everyone's that big family. I've been told multiple times, but like...
Well, look, from what I can tell, this dude ain't exactly an upstanding member of.
None of them
Fast
are.
and
That's
the
kind of the
Furious.
whole reason I don't
That's
want to
the
go anywhere
point.
near them.
If we get rid of him, if all of a sudden he's got no friends in his corner, I highly doubt it.
I think what Dani is saying was that this wasn't supposed to be our job to
Right,
begin
yeah.
with, to make sure that he wasn't in power. I'm not... Look, I have no pedestal. I have nothing to stand on. I mean, all I see is that there is someone in my crew who needs help, and I am more than obligated to help him. At the same time, I do understand.
I'll do it, but I don't know. I mean, Dani, I don't think you have to come. Like, you're right. You are definitely the person who, if we got caught, you know, you're the only person who's actually from here. It would actually have repercussions. The rest of us, you know, we're from nowhere. It doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, they would just be put to death. Like, no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Okay,
let you
well,
guys.
I mean, let's also not. Much as though she would like to not admit it, Dani cares about us, and I don't think she would take very lightly. I don't think she would like it a lot if we were to be put to death
No, I'm not gonna
for
let
something
you
that,
fucking
in addition,
idiots walk
she
into
would
a
sit out on.
Clearly, I watched you guys try to break into the giant stronghold, and that was so much lower stakes than this is. Like,
All right.
I was gonna climb up the outside and go in through a window, but like,
not for
whatever
nothing,
works.
but you guys are, you know, the crew of the Aspera as run by Otto, who is a citizen of the city of Brass. So
Yeah.
you're not exactly
That too.
untraceable to the city.
Right.
If Dani were to be out of this, then we could not go with the ship
Yeah.
either, at the very least.
I'm not gonna let you guys go and do this by yourselves because 100% you will get caught. But I am.
Yes.
I'm just saying. I think I could bail out a window and be fine. Like,
Yeah.
Dani,
what?
we'll go with your plan.
I don't have a plan. The plan my whole life has been dodge these guys. That's the.
Well, then maybe we should make one?
Yeah, I'm gonna sidle
You're
over
not in
to
this.
what's her name, and like just
You guys
like
are shouting in an empty hallway. I'm just here.
just at the map. Like, okay, so what are the points of entry on this thing?
All right, we will come up with a plan, obviously, but I cannot state enough how much this is probably the worst thing that we've ever had to do, and we cannot approach it with the lightness that we often do. If we get caught, that's it. We're all dead, and everyone we know and care about who's even tangentially attached to the city of Brass is going to feel the repercussions of that. I'm gonna go fume in the engine room for a while. Let me know when we're approaching the plane of fire, and then Dani will be stomping off.
Well,
Okay, so is it like windows in, or is it like underground?
Yeah, so that's
let's
what's
figure
fun.
this
All
out
right.
once we're
All
on
right,
the ship.
Yeah, so you guys all go to the ship, and
We kind of
Dani-
awkwardly run into Dani, who's also
Yeah.
We're kind of
She's
going
like
the
30
same
feet ahead
way.
of you the whole walk home.
Trying not to use my speed to
she like
overtake
looks
Dani.
over her shoulder and then scurries faster.
Danny goes to fume in the engine room, and Zimrissa takes you guys to the. Oh man, do you want to put the piece of paper in the hologram? Well, she doesn't know you
Yeah.
have it, but put the.
Oh, hell yeah,
display
let's
it.
do
Put the
this.
piece of paper in the hologram room and
Holodeck
the big hologram.
simulation.
Oh man, I love it. The Iron Man.
This
movies
is
have
so
broken
cool,
my brain.
Danny. I wish you were here to see. I don't
Danny
actually say that.
does.
I don't actually say that.
Dani's mad at
Okay.
you guys.
So
Explain
places,
to us what we're looking at here.
Yeah. So this is the so like you guys are totally know about, you're all in with the city of Brass, right? Like you get the whole vibe.
We've been there, yeah.
Clearly they do
Sailors
not.
of many worlds.
Enlighten
very
us.
seasoned, you get it. So this is essentially kind of a government building, but it's a high-ranking training facility for specialized troops to be used in the army of Brass.
Sounds familiar.
So there's barracks that house most of them. There's also studies and dormitories. They're where they do their work, but also live, since they're living, you know, in this castle. For both the Conflagrar, who's our guy. She points. You can see that there is an X on the map that marks his chambers. She says, as well as the Flagrar Ambrose, who we suspect will probably be there because he's always kind of like picking up after Yakiv, right? And for context translation, Flagrar is basically like lieutenant colonel. It's his like assistant, right?
Right.
It's his one step down. So most of the troops that live here are Genasi. There's also a platoon of Azer. The real tricky thing is that the normal guards are Arenyes, who, if you don't know them, lots of fun at a party. They do have true sight, so they can see through illusions, which just makes getting in there just a little bit too tricky. Yeah.
So your transformation, it's an illusion. They can see through it?
My transformation is more complicated, but let's just say that it's doubtful true sight is their only trick for sussing it out. And it's not really... If I get caught red-handed, that's very bad for the game.
Okay.
Which is, like, the whole point.
So exactly, have you scoped the place out? Have you been there yourself?
No, I have not seen the outside. And you might notice that none of these places have any windows in them. That's because it's supposed to be all inside.
Okay.
But if it's all inside, that means we see the outside, then we've seen the whole thing, because this is the whole inside. And then you guys, you get in, you get out, we all get on with our lives.
Do you know about any... What do you know about any of the arcane defenses that these rooms might have?
No, I'm told that you are the kind of person to ask about that kind of stuff.
I mean, I don't...
Okay.
I suppose we can go there and scope it out, but this information would be nice to know beforehand. But no matter, we will deal with it when we get there.
Do you think... No, wait, wrong city. Sorry, never mind. Ignore me.
Can you explain to me what this Eye of the Efreeti and Audience Chamber is? If this was a training grounds, I'm confused as to why they would have an Audience Chamber.
So, Audience Chamber is where the Conflagar or the Flagrar, whoever is the highest ranking person there at the time, take meetings with people who come in on official business. It's the, grandstanding room, right? He's probably got a big seat. I've never been in there, but I imagine one of them's got a big chair, and they go like, yes, no, yes. When she does that, her head becomes a big, red, Efreeti head, and, her voice goes, like, yes, no, and then turns back into her own thing. Eye of the Efreeti, I think, so I didn't write this. This was, someone who's been inside there wrote it down. Eye of the Efreeti is a fancy name, and it looks like it's red water or maybe lava.
That's probably lava, knowing the plane of fire.
That was my guess.
Yeah.
That was my guess. So, I don't know why they call it that.
Would Dani know what the Eye of the Efreeti is?
Dani, roll a history
know.
check.
Dani's just skulking, but she has an ear up listening to the room underneath.
Of course Dani's
The room above
eavesdropping.
her.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
Hell yeah. So, a little rundown of what you would know about it, because this is stuff that you could find out from asking anyone from Brass. So, well, not anyone, but lots of people. It is located in a district called the Plume, which is way uptown. It's way past where any of you guys have ever gone on any of your adventures. In fact, it is the district adjacent to the Furnace, which is where the Sultan's Palace is.
Okay.
The Furnace is a walled-off part of the city. It's very highly secure. It's where, it's the fanciest place, and no one gets in or out of there, really, without, being important. So the Plume is directly next to that. It's extremely affluent. It's where most of the, if you think of most of Efreeti are basically ranking somewhere in the nobility, whether it be from a duke or a I'm trying to think more Bridgerton terms,
Viscount.
Yeah. Things like that, right? They're based. I'm trying to remember. They if you imagine they fill those positions, and then the common people are Genasi, right? That's where a lot of the Efreeti live. It's a very nice part of the neighborhood. It's also where there's actually a big old there's a big ass fucking Arc de Triomphe monument there called Gate of the Fallen that has beautiful murals and illustrations of all the great battles that have ever been fought. It's a memorial thing. So it's that's a nice part of town. It's located there. You would be familiar and probably put two and two together. The Eye of the Efreeti is one of the entrances because you can see it from other parts of the city. The thing is raised up. It's surrounded by a moat of lava. It's a castle carved entirely from one solid piece of obsidian. So a castle-sized piece of obsidian. It's an enormous jewel, basically. And there are a couple doors in, but there's a big entrance that is up in the sky. Well, not in the sky, but like raised up off the ground quite a bit, because Efreeti can just fly in, and lava pours out of there, and it's sculpted to look like an Efreeti's face. So it's a little ostentatious. It's a Efreeti face, lava pours out of the mouth, falls down into a pool that's in the middle of the fortress, and flows out into the many City of Venice type rivers and channels that flow through this, flow through Brass.
So
that is everything you know on its 20. So the Eye of Efreeti is the entrance in, which has no stairs up and has lava pouring out of it.
Okay, this might be an obvious question. Do they take
I
recruits?
was just about to say. If we can just...
I mean, it's pretty high ranking, so maybe.
I mean, I feel like they would also be extremely suspicious for anyone that wasn't native to the plane of fire requesting enlistment.
I mean, we got...
Well, I don't know about that. Do they pay well? That's an important
They
thing,
might have
right?
mercenaries. We just need a... We just need a way to get
that
in
might be.
that'll allow us to walk around. Because ideally, we're just trying to steal information. We don't actually... Hopefully, we won't have to actually take a document out.
Well,
But
No, I think we do have to take a document out.
you do have to take the document out. Showing cards a little bit, when you arrive, if you would like to gather information, there's a skill challenge you can partake in to,
okay,
like, basically stake out. So if you want to learn more, or if you want to plan, it might be better to wait until you have all the information and then plan.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think that stakeout is probably the first thing to do, with the caveat that in order to avoid looking extremely suspicious or immediately drawing attention to the heap, I at least would suggest that Dani not do the stakeout. At least not anywhere particularly close to the fortress.
so we know the Conflagrars manages this compound, right? So currently he's
the big boss
not
man.
here, and his lieutenant, his assistant, is currently in charge, right? We would think
Yeah, that's
Okay.
everything we said.
there might be an angle that we could find where we can just have them give us a tour, perhaps, or learn maybe they're not on good standing and they might be looking for an opportunity to climb the ranks. You know, that's another thing we could do.
I'm going to be completely honest. I think I've known all of us for a long enough time to realize that perhaps a social encounter and a social-based method of infiltration might not be our strongest. It's not in our strong
Fair
suit.
enough.
Yeah, you know, it's good. Let's get the bad ideas out of the way. We'll just, like, flush those out, and then everything that's left.
I mean, I'm
There we
not.
go.
The irony isn't lost that a social encounter would be something that you would excel at. Looking at Zimrisa.
People love me.
Most people.
So I'm told.
She looks at Virla and winks again.
It's completely lost on
Now
me.
might be a time to set some ground rules. So, first of all, Zimmy, no turning into any of us. Don't do that. Don't even think about doing that. Otherwise, you're staying on the ship.
don't trust
turn
me?
into anyone that knows
No.
us either. If I see
Oh.
Elise on here, then
You know me so well.
I know you like the mind
Hurts.
games. We don't got time for that. Okay? Some other time, maybe. Not here. Not now. Alright?
She sticks out a tongue at you, and then it becomes a little snake tongue, and then goes back.
And, I think that's it. That's really the only big thing I got.
So more of ground
Yeah,
rule.
yeah, that's gonna be the big one, number
Got
one. Yeah. But it sounds like we gotta do a stakeout. A dare in Brass might be decent. Dani might be able to get some more work done on the ship, you know, at the heap rather than here in Sigil. It won't be unusual for us to be there anyways, right?
Dani will re-enter the room at this point, having probably been listening through a trapdoor or something, but like through the back.
Oh my god. I think maybe we should avoid the heap.
Okay. Alright.
I don't know if you've noticed, but what we're doing is remarkably illegal in a way that will particularly bring the heat down on anyone in the city of Brass. And,
Alright.
anything that could associate us with them during the entire tenure of this trip, I would like to avoid as much as possible.
Are there any other sky docks that we could port at?
I mean, there's the whole
That
docks
being the
district.
case.
I'm sure we can find a slip.
Yeah, there's a big space. You could pay, like,
In
a
Brass?
small, like, to you guys, a pretty small amount to keep your ship docked for, several days. And you'd be
Okay.
Fair enough, then. That sounds good to
I
me.
don't think that hiding our presence from Otto is a good idea. He's already mad at us, just in general.
I don't think that Otto is going to be particularly pissed about being kept in the dark of this particular venture. I think this is a less anyone knows the better kind of situation.
I'm telling you, I think.
Also, if authorities were to trace us back to the Paraspora, we would rather not have it be in the heap.
Okay. Is there a way for us to find a door from here to City of Brass?
I don't think this is a good idea.
That way we don't have
I
to
think,
particularly leave.
I think that's an
Maybe not.
extra bad idea.
Alright.
I think the move is to limit the people who are on the ground to the people who can't easily be traced back.
Okay.
If Dani and Virla have a contract with Otto, we don't.
It's true.
We're just kind of fucking around, you know?
As you say that, Kyana, I think perhaps you flash back to Golzar saying plausible deniability. The idea that, like, it's not enough to be caught. Like, when it comes to, like, big moves, like, for example, them, like, going after a whole bunch of people, like, if they were to, like, obviously, like, incriminate the guild, but also, perhaps the same applies to the heap. You know, if they're gonna burn down the heap, they better have a damn fucking good reason. Right? Like, one person is one person. They'll, they could be like, oh yeah, we caught this person doing, fucking treason, killed them. But the bigger the move, the more they're gonna need to be certain, and even a thin veneer of plausible deniability could fuck with that.
So if we had a good reason to be in the area,
So, yeah, well, that's certainly true. But also the idea that you mentioned, like, Virla and Dani connect back more to Otto.
yes,
And
exactly.
you guys don't. So the veneer of, like, oh, well, we've met the guy, might...
So essentially, I'm not sure I'm quite picking up what you're putting down. I feel like Finbar and I have the best defense of, hey, we're
Correct.
just, but with, and
Yeah,
with
you
Virla,
got it.
it's like, hey, he came with the ship, but he's been doing his own thing. Dani is the one who has the strongest link to the heap, and it would be the most difficult, but it does seem like they would need a really, really good reason to think you were acting on behalf of Otto and the heap in order to actually send a chain of consequences back to
Yeah,
fucking
if
them
at any
over.
point we got caught and they asked who we're working for, I'm selling out the guild immediately.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely, that's only fair. Or, name Golzar specifically.
Okay.
What's he gonna do, kill
Work
us also?
on my resume. No, that's yeah, Red, you got it. Good insight.
Yeah, but there are layers to, we want to get some feel for how this place works because that will tell us how we can infiltrate in a way that makes sense and has plausible deniability. Like, if we break in through a window that doesn't exist in the dead of night, that's bad. But if they do take recruits, I have a really good easy in, and there might be a way in for the rest of you depending on how this place works.
I mean, it's certainly possible, but I would caution that having, again, lived in the city my whole life and not being recruited and also just seeing the makeup of the city of Brass, anyone who's not like a Genasi or an Azor is gonna stand out. And that might work to your advantage, but it's not. You're gonna have to work a little harder to convince them that you're just showing up and interested. You're not fireproof. You're probably not from around
Right.
here.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not fireproof.
Yeah, so far you guys don't have a silver
Right.
bullet plan,
Yeah.
but
No.
these are all good observations.
I think we just
So-
need more information.
Yeah.
We don't know how this place works, so we don't know what the angle of attack we need.
Who's... we still
Alright,
don't
so
know who's going on the
let's
stakeout.
let's
though.
go to-
Like, that's...
Yeah, we do.
Well, the plausible deniability works in our favor then. Me and Dani, we can We have the rights to be in the city of Brass. You know,
But you also... I'm not sure if it would be more or less suspicious to have the definitely outsiders hanging around, but the people who can't be traced back as easily.
I mean, it might be that we might also need to see what the makeup of the plume is as well.
Yeah. Well, Dani can
Yeah.
tell you it's largely Efreeti and Genasi.
It's the same
So,
as most of the
if
rest
that's
of
the
Brass,
case,
except
then-
everyone is dressed significantly better and
Yeah.
yeah.
If that's the case, then maybe Dani would be the best suited for the stakeout, and we just need to dress her up nicer. Dress you
Well,
up nicer.
also,
You're in the
can't
room
you?
with
I
us
know
now.
Finbar can look like anyone.
Don't the guards have true sight? I thought we
Danny
just
and
covered
Virla
this.
can disguise self. Finbar can
Yes.
disguise self. Kiana's
But
the only
it's-
one who can't change her appearance natively, but True Sight would.
I can
True
shrink
Sight has a
Kiana
range.
if she really wanted to tag
So,
along.
you know, depending on how you want to scout it out, right? As well as, again, Zimrosa can help you stake out, because as long as she's not caught doing anything wrong, right, then she's fine.
I'm kind of the opinion that maybe we let the person who I care about the least in this room go do the stakeout, which would be the total stranger, and then the rest of us can do some other form of information gathering, maybe.
You know what,
Strangers for
Danny?
now.
I agree.
Whew.
Yeah, no, we will get ourselves to Brass.
I have
Yes.
a question. Have any of these people ever been in the Coliseum in Sigil? The Great Gymnasium?
You took Finbar with you to go
No.
through
I mean
Oh.
the
Oh,
guards here.
Guards in Brass?
I mean, it's possible. I would say this is more the sort of thing that, like, how to describe this? It's a luck check, and I don't know if we can roll the luck check yet because you're not there,
Okay.
right? Like, it's a small chance that the answer is yes, but like, you know, what you remember seeing like one Genasi's face in the and you're like, man, that guy looks like he works in an important castle in the city of Brass, you know. for now, yeah, but
It's a fair point. Okay.
It's a good idea though. So with all that being said, is there anything else you would like to establish before we arrive at Brass? And if so, and if not, then where are you going to be docking?
I think docking somewhere that isn't the heap is a good idea.
Yeah.
I still think it's a bad idea.
Kiana, why do you
Why,
think it's a
though?
bad idea?
Because the last time we went too long without telling Otto what we were doing, he got really, really mad
Okay,
at us.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a shit on this mission about Otto. He doesn't matter right now. We need to do everything we can to keep ourselves and the ship safe. If he wants to be mad at us, he can yell at me again. It's fine. We just gotta not piss any of the higher Efreeti off or lead them anywhere that we care about, and that means docking the ship somewhere else. Plus, I can always use my feet and walk over to Otto and tell him that we're in the city. I feel like the ship doesn't have to be at the heap.
Okay, if it works.
And so then we're relying on Zimrissa to feed us useful information then?
From the actual stakeout, there's probably not a lot of people outside of the plume are gonna necessarily know much about the inner workings, but I'm sure we can dig up something or
if
somewhere
we-
to look for info.
I'm sure we might be able to find like a military dropout or something.
I might know some people.
Oh yeah, it's your city, so
This is true. We don't necessarily have to be staking out in the plume. There could be other people elsewhere in the city of Brass that might have some information.
Docking,
So-
Alright.
not at the heap then.
All right, docking out at the heap. Go ahead and just measure out a modest 15 gold pieces to get you enough, assuming that you can accomplish this in the course of
Yeah.
seveal days, under a week.
Danny
Then-
usually is the one who covers all the docking fees. She will just look at Finbar when like a Modron or something comes up looking for a
yeah,
fee.
yeah.
no Motrons here, but yes.
Yeah.
Basically all Genasi. Cool. Go ahead. Your ship is docked in basically a big ass shipyard. They keep a log of it. It is the name of the ship is written down, but you know, from anyone's point of view, you are just normal people stationed there. No one knows you're here to do crime.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say that we are entering the skill challenge portion, as well as an interesting note, since this is not a skill challenge that is, how do I put this? it's a limited time you want to accomplish it in. I'm going to go ahead and say that I want everyone, if you want to, no one has to, but everyone can see to one task. So Zimris included, that gives you up to 5 checks, and we will determine the level of success based on the checks, what you choose to do, and how many checks successes versus failures there are. So we can start with any of you, or we can start with Zimrissa. It seems like you guys just want Zimrissa to, like, hang around and watch. Is that an accurate... Because I'll say she is a spy. She knows how to blend in. People with true sight is a problem, but she can stay well clear of the range of their true sight. And, as long as she doesn't walk up to the gate, they're not going to... It's meant for scanning people coming through, right?
We could have her,
So
she
post
just hangs
up
out
and watch, the comings and goings of the building and the general,
I was
see how
gonna
many
say, if
windows
she
there
can-
are, stuff like that.
She is capable of doing that. She's also capable of helping you on a task or doing something else if you
Would
have a
it be-
suggestion for her.
Could we possibly learn the number of creatures that have true sight, or at least the range of that true sight, so that by the time we do go in, we have a reasonable amount of expectations in terms of how likely our disguises, if that's what we end up doing.
Totally. That's like a history arcana check. If Virla, I assume Virla, wants to learn about Arenyas and maybe the defenses, what to expect here.
I was going to see if I can figure out if I can discern arcane defenses of the building. Either that involves, I don't know, going to the library and reading if that information is publicly available. On the other side of things, maybe going to Mandy and asking if they have any resources that they might know that might have
Also,
information on
with true sight,
that kind of stuff.
they can see through magic. We can just get regular disguises to look like.
Just a bunch of Groucho glasses.
I mean, yes, you could use a disguise kit, and as good as the disguise kit is, we'll convince them. You're not going to
I don't know how to tell you this, but it's kind of
like
difficult to
a
disguise
fear
metal
bolt.
as something that isn't metal.
Yeah, Virla's going to look like a mechanite, but it's true, you could disguise him to look like not Virla. Right? That is totally something you guys could do.
Anyways, yes.
Cool.
It's a valid point.
So, really quick to Noir's point, they're not going to have military defenses written in any libraries that you can think of.
Right.
So you probably need another way around that.
I might be overestimating Mandy, but I was going to ask Mandy.
Mandy's a good person to check in with. Dani was going to go see if she couldn't find any of the street racers from her little solo one-shot and see if maybe people who are inclined to do crime might have some insight into, getting into or around the plume in specifically this building. Using my credit as, champion.
Street cred? Yeah, street cred.
Badass.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Dani will,
okay, so
yeah.
Dani's gonna do that. Does anyone else have a lock-in they want to do? Or do you want to keep thinking about
Is there a way for me to figure out how they get supplies in and out of...
Yeah, that's
smart.
like a stakeout, basically. But perception is up your alley, so...
Is there, not to, tell you what to do, but is there, cooks or something, or contacts you have in the city who might have provided food here before?
Going to
Maybe
check
know,
in
catering
with
entrances and
any
such things?
Searing Tongue members that might have provided food.
There was that one lady who ran the food
It's-
stall in season 1 who knew you from
It's
the
a
guild.
good point you ask. Zimrissa says, oh, totally, because there have been chefs that have gone in and out to service... what's his fuck? Can't remember his name. Yukir, something like that. For his request. So, and you do remember a fire genasi by the name of Roast, who you met back in season 1, episode 2.
Yeah.
Who is a contact you might be able
Yeah,
to talk to.
yeah.
But again, these you got your time is limited. So talking to Roast to get information is one thing you can do, or you could stake out and watch if you want to learn how things get moved in and out. These are all or you could send Zimrissa to ask Roast too if you want.
Zimrissa's currently she's still a member of the guild. So and I'm not, my perception check might go a longer way. So yeah, for the skill challenge, cool. I will stake it out.
Fantastic. So Zimbrisa's going to go talk to Roast, which is a charisma check, which is good for her. Finbar is going to do a stakeout. Dani is going to shake some thugs down. Anyone else?
Yeah, Kyana wants to wander into that neighborhood.
Get kicked out.
Okay. And
I'm a big old tourist, dumbass, meathead with a big sword who is always looking
She's
for a
the one
worthy
with the
opponent.
least amount of connections to either the heap
I
or
have,
the searing tongue.
as far as anybody knows, I'm a drifter. And
this girl's just homeless.
Yeah, I'm just fucking vibing. And I think I can successfully not technically lie my way into just sort of, getting a feel for the place, how it works, wandering around, If anyone starts conversation, chat back.
Okay. So it seems like we have a pretty good idea of what everyone wants to do. So, to begin with, because it might prove useful information, let's go ahead and roll Zimbrisa and see how she does in her persuasion to try and glean information from Roast. Very good, a total of 19, which is a complete success. Nice. So we'll go ahead and mark that success down. And you know what? Let's finish, and then we'll consolidate information. Let's finish all of the checks. So Zimbrisa goes and does that. That is a success. Let's go Finbar.
Yes, here we go.
So you head to the plume, the district it's located in, and find the Castle of Sun and Moon, carved, as I said, from a single giant glossy piece of black obsidian. It is like dazzling, but like strangely dark in this city that is all otherwise gold and red. Like it's still shining and bright and opulent, but is kind of this bleak, jagged, almost eyesore in this city that is, bright, to put it simply. So go ahead and roll me your perception check.
Okay. Not bad. 23.
23, fantastic. So 23 is a success. Finbar Citadel itself is 3 tiers. It is the lowest tier, surrounded by lava on all sides. There is a single bridge that connects from there to the front gate. The front gate flanked by guard towers. There is a wall that extends all the way around to where the big piece of obsidian juts up. That is the body of the castle. So there's that bottom layer, has those 2 guard towers. It has the training area for most of the guards. Or not the guards, sorry, for the military. You can, as you kind of like, I mentioned there's like the big monument there, like getting up on the stairs and like looking down in, you can see down into this castle, and you see in the training yard there's scores of people doing drills all day long. They go in and out of an entrance that is on that ground level, so looking at the map, that must be to like the barracks. There is a second level. Here there are some buildings that you see people moving crates in and out of, so it must be storage. There are also cranes on the second level that float over where a little inlet, remember I mentioned the pouring mouth of lava, flows into a pool that goes to the river. The only gap in the wall is where the river comes in. There are cranes hanging over because, as you notice, at least once a day, there are boats that come in and out with supplies and probably empty boxes and shit, right? Like taking them away. With the 23, you also notice most of these are military, right? They have the emblem, which actually I can look that up if you give me a second. But they have the emblem of the military on them. There is one that goes in and out that is not like that, and it seems to be like a separate group or whatever, and it's got a couple, what do you call them? It's got a couple genasi in it, that are clearly not military and go in,
Yes.
stay there for a couple hours, and then come back out. Banner that hangs over the front, by the way, that has the insignia of the military, and a crown encircled with flaming branches, right, is the symbol. Underneath it reads in Infernal, Atka Ignari, which is primordial for all enemies shall burn.
Very
I said
welcoming.
Infernal, I mean primordial. Cool. So, second level, that's where the cranes move things back and forth. The third level is the interior, clearly. That's where the entrance, the Eye of
Right.
Efreeti is. You can see the lava pouring down. There are no visible windows, although you do know there are doors. That, like you said, there's doors into the barracks and stuff down on that lower level. There's the big entrance up top, which is going to put you closest to where you need to be. On a 23, the last sticking point is you notice that roosting inside the mouth, you just catch a glimpse of it like shifting around as you see like a bit of scale and wing. There appears to be a young red dragon that they have on
Eyes.
guard.
Enhance. What is that? All right.
Yeah. So
Pixie pops up
yeah.
with a telescope.
Okay.
So that's what you get on a 23. But that is a full success. So we are at 2 successes. Dani.
Dani throws on the leather bomber jacket, like really flips up the collar, lets all the patches show off a little bit, including the one that she put on there because she won the race.
Yeah.
Well, before Dani leaves, would it be a good idea if I went with Dani? Because I'm thinking if there's anyone who has illegal plans of, like, specifically the arcane defenses of the place, then the same people that Dani's going to might be the best bet for that. Or should I still, like, I'm asking Dani in the world, but I'm asking you,
mean
Austin,
this
in
as
real life.
in the nicest way possible, but you are the biggest Poindexter on this ship, and I think everyone I'm about to go talk to might not respond to that well.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
If I gave you a book, you would read it. If I gave some of these guys a book, I think they would use it as fuel for their motorcycles.
I can burn books. I can do that.
Look me in the eyes and tell me that that's a thing that you can do.
Poindexter's grasping hand.
I would I would. It'd be a book that I wouldn't like. I can blend in.
There's
I'm great at blending in, Dani. Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop you if you want to come, but I'm also not gonna help you through it if they start telling you that you can't come into the cool kids clubhouse. You know.
I mean, fair enough. I also don't know if this is a good idea
like-
to begin with.
Also, mechanically, separate checks is gonna, like, you can help her with her check to increase her chance of succeeding, but, you know, I don't know if it's a sure thing to Virla that, like, whoever Dani talks to is gonna have knowledge of the arcane defenses,
Maybe
right?
there's, like,
The thing is that I don't know.
May-
I don't know who I would talk to get knowledge of the arcane defenses. Is the
I don't
thing.
know who you can
So,
talk to either.
Does the city
Sadly,
of Grass have
it's-
any
it's
sort
not-
of like
it's not
mages
obvious.
guild, or maybe there's some construction companies that have done work up there that you could?
I mean, all I'm thinking is like there has to be like an equivalent of
This
like
cast is like 3,000 years old.
All I'm
do
saying
repairs.
is that I think there has to be some
Buttresses
equivalent
fall off
of
and
like
whatnot.
the John Wick like underlayer of like assassins and like informants or
Virla
whatever,
just
and there
goes and
has to
knocks
be
on
someone
every
who
crate
knows.
and sees someone in.
Yeah. Like Mandy was my best guess as to maybe try and getting it in for that, and then it was the race people, but he's not very sure on either of those. I mean, I can. Yeah, I don't know any other criminals, and I could ask Otto.
You could ask Otto.
If you want to go to Otto, I'm not gonna stop you from doing that.
I don't wanna go.
But if you go to
I don't wanna go
anyone
to
at the
Otto.
heap, you better be damn convincing, because I don't know if you noticed that I don't really want to do this. They're definitely not gonna want to help you even a little bit. in
Honestly,
this.
you know what?
Roy's like,
this
no,
is-
I can help.
This is information.
If you
I
bring
don't know
Roy
if I
into
can
this,
get
I will kill you.
information.
Dead ass.
No, I understood. I want to find this information. I don't know where to find it. Now that you mention it, I probably would not want to walk onto the heap and ask Mandy, and risk myself being seen on the heap and people asking questions. So whether it's a good idea or not, I think I am going to follow you. I'll rip.
That's not. It's not
like
doing what you think
something in
it's
my
doing,
shoulder
dude.
and like, I'm a bad boy.
Oh boy.
Make a charisma check.
Yeah.
This isn't your skill challenge. I just gotta know.
5.
I'm a bad boy.
Hey girl, I heard you like bad boys. Well, I'm bad at everything.
All right, so Dani,
I'll try not to embarrass you at the very least.
we'll speed run the finding out where people are. You ask around, some people that you've known from your time in the city of Brass, and find out that one of the people you have raced with in the past is a regular at the Seven Maidens Casino, which is not far from where you started your race.
Ocean's 11,
last time.
baby. Virla and Dani going to the casino. I want to preface that, like, Dani is very against this mission, but I, Sophia, love a heist, so I'm living for this.
It's the Dani season because I knew it would be fun for Sophia and a pain for Dani.
And not fun for Dani. Oof.
Dance, my puppets, dance! Anyway, in this part of town... Oh, by the way, the military is called the Illuminated.
Mm-hmm.
Or I should say, the military is very large. There's a fuck ton of them. The Illuminated are the ones... Are the, like, fucking... They're the military station. They're the cops, right? They're military stations. They're an occupying army in the city, right?
Yeah.
That's who they are. You guys make your way, and it's pretty heavily... It's, this is a den of deceit. There, it's pretty heavily guarded around here. You guys walk up, see the thing as they walk past. Dani, outside, you see tethered up a...
Cowboy mummy?
horse,
Cowboy mummy?
purple with red eyes, blowing a nightmare, blowing fire. You go inside and you see, like, you kind of search around. It's
He
like,
didn't even
it's
speak the
happening
last
in here.
time.
It's happening in here. It's hopping. There's fucking people all over the place. Like, fire torches, like, dancing everywhere. There's, like, a fire dancer who's, like, literally, like, juggling flame and, like, swallows it and, like, it comes out of their nose and stuff like that. It's awesome. And you see, sitting at a card table, back to you, the tightly bandaged, withered form, cowboy hat sitting on top of the mummy's head. You see Amun the Ancient, who you bested in your match, just sitting there quietly holding cards as all of this craziness goes on around him.
Is anyone else at the table playing with him?
There's people are playing, but there's space for it. It's this is not this is more like blackjack than like
Great.
Texas Hold'em, right? So you can like get dealt in and
Sophia, the person, definitely knows how to play all these cards.
Texas Hold'em, you sit down, you play a whole game. Blackjack,
Okay.
you can be dealt in and then tap out when you want.
Dani will go sit down and deal in next.
I'll stand behind Dani and kind of act as a bodyguard, I guess.
Cool.
Virla's in his bad boy phase.
Okay, with his 5, you see Virla like try to muscle up, but just like you see like a bandage that's holding part of his like metal together, like kind of like peels off a little bit. Like, pink, little spring.
Just try and pat it back into place.
You see Amun looks at you, just hollow, lifeless mummy eyes, like looks at you with empty caverns in the skull, and then looks back at the card, pulls out a cigarette, lights it with his fingertips, puts it in his mouth, and then the most horrible sucking sound as like lungs that aren't there suck in smoke. It's just like from beyond the grave, like.
In this moment, Dani wishes that she had a cowboy hat to tip as she sat down, but alas, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. But someday.
What do you say, Dani? The dealer deals you in. By the way, buy in 50 gold. So you got to put down 50 gold if you're gonna play.
Alright.
I'm glad I didn't sit in. I have 0.
Oh my god.
How much gold do you have, Dani?
1,639.
Oh, you're
And
gone.
2 silver.
Okay.
I don't buy a lot of shit. I just pay for us every time we
Dani
dock.
tips the 2 silver.
I'll put the 50 gold in. Howdy. buddy. That's some horse you got out there. I think mine might have been faster, though.
Just to make sure that this guy remembers who I am.
Yeah, no, I got it. Go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
Dani's not too bad.
After the mummy made the inhalation sound, could I ask Emmy to do the comprehend languages tongues thing?
He's not speaking any special language.
That's fair. I mean,
actually,
I
I
wouldn't
don't-
have known.
Do you know Primordial?
I do not.
Okay, well, everyone's speaking Primordial here, so you can learn Primordial if you want. Just start
Oh,
eavesdropping.
hell yeah. Yeah.
You
Cool.
realize
See, I'm
gonna
you
do that.
are
Yes,
learning
special
the
ed.
City of Brass dialect, though, so it is deeply just the Philly accent that you're going to have to speak with from now on whenever he's using Primordial.
Yeah, that's why none of them can say water, because
They
never
That's
seen
a
it.
19.
19. There's like what could only be described as a chuckle again from a chest that has no lungs in it, just like a. Takes the cigarette out, taps some of it, and says, "I remember. What of it?" Talking about like you guys racing,
Yeah.
right?
You know, I've figured someone who likes to run fast and break things might know some stuff about the rest of the city and maybe some of the more thrilling elements of it if you've got time to talk.
I got time as long as I got gold, and as long as you got gold. Looks over at your hand, which, by the way, why don't you head and roll me 3d6?
Fine.
So
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna play
We're
for
finally using dice
what you're
for their
trying to
intended
do
purpose,
is
gambling.
what you're trying to do is you want either the highest result or you want 3 of a kind. If you get 3 of a kind, that you win.
Okay.
Or you want the,
The highest
result.
sum
You
or
can,
like the highest single die?
the highest total that you add on. You can make a it's drawing cards, so if you want to try to cheat, you can, but it's an extremely high sleight of hand check. And that lets you re-roll a dice. So
Okay, I'm not
roll for
gonna
him.
cheat on the first one. So that is a 2 plus 5 plus 6, so 13.
Okay, you beat the mummy. Let's see if you beat the house. You do beat the house, so go ahead. You collect, add, I guess it's just double. Add 50 gold to what you have. He reaches in, pulls out more gold to put in. You're gonna double, so you can keep just 50 on the table. That's the minimum, or you can put the 100 that you just won, or you can, up the ante. Whatever you want to do.
I will add the 50 that I just won to the 50
Cool.
on the table.
So he says, as long as you still got gold to spend, the cards get revealed. You guys cash in. You get your thing. He puts more money on. Then, gives a nod of respect. Says, "I've been haunting this place a long time, longer than you had bones and breath. What is it you want to know?"
You ever haunted the Castle of Sun and Moon?
Yeah. You have expensive and dangerous taste, my dear.
I would consider it expensive and dangerous friends, frankly, but the difference is negligible right now.
Gives like a solemn nod of like respect. Well, just so happens I do know the place. What is it you want to know?
If someone was to go in, and they wanted to get in and preferably out without being seen or noticed, what might be your recommendation on how to do that, if you've got one?
An interesting proposition. All hypothetical.
All hypothetical, of course, of course.
Go ahead and roll me 3 more d6 and let's see how you guys do on this hand. So for the mummy,
That was so close to 3 of a kind. Damn it. It was a 5, a 5, and a 4, so 14.
14, and then the house. I think it's gonna be it. And everyone rolled really high, but you beat the mummy by 1. Go ahead and double. Go ahead. So your 100 goes to 200. He says, "How important is this? Getting in and out unseen, or do you merely want to get in and out safely?"
If you ever want to race again, I think the unseen is more important. But I'll take any info you have. Hypothetically, of course.
And I'll add 50 more gold to the table.
A threat or a promise never race you again. Picks up gold, does the like Jack Sparrow between the fingers
Hell
like coin
yeah.
flipping thing.
Of course.
Flips it. Unseen. All right, time for him to roll to see what he knows, because he's been there before, baby.
hope so.
I'm gonna give him an advantage on this one.
Okay.
He's not super intelligent. But I'm gonna give him advantage because he's been there. Okay, that's not too bad. He tells you. People come in and out on official business. My advice, you want to get in and out unseen, the kind of skills you have. Well, if you're not willing to go there on official business, you gots to worry about the Irenians. They're sneaky, they check everyone out, but more than that, they got their guard dog, the dragon. He's sniffing out to make sure no one's climbing in up the back. You dig? But they don't got that tight leash on the dragon. You get him out, get him chatting. Somewhat a nice guy, turns out. The way is clear up through there. But you try to go... Moves his hand like in front of his face, sight unseen past that dog. Taps the hollow part of his face where a nose should be to like indicate like he'll sniff you out.
Dani will just sort of nod silently. Is there anything Virla wants to do at this juncture, or because Dani will probably just either like play out this hand and
Yeah, let's do one more play if Noir wants to think.
Yeah.
All right,
Nothing about
one
it.
more play, Dani. So this is the roll for the mummy.
whoo, 3 threes.
He rolled 3 fours.
Oh!
For the house is not gonna win on that one. You basically what happens? You reveal like a fucking straight, and he reveals fucking like royal flush, basically. You like put down these badass cards. He puts them down, smiles, moves his cigarette to the like other part of his dry ass lips. Collects, wipe out that gold, Dani.
I put 150
And,
in, but I made 200 before I lost it, so I actually have exact net gain and loss. I have broken perfectly even for this encounter.
What better way to gamble? Win nothing, lose nothing. That's what people like about gambling. Fantastic. Yeah, so that's everything he knows. As you go, he goes, "Oh, one more thing." He looks at you, and his eyes are hollow, but it turns out he still has eyelids because, like, one kind of cracks, and a little bit of dust comes off, and he gives you a wink, and he says, "Atka Ignari," which you would know is the, like, motto that's of that place.
Are you implying that he works there? No. Is there?
It doesn't seem to
Is there
be.
a call and response?
You want to roll an insight
for
check?
it? Yeah.
Do an insight check.
Would Virla know
Virla,
that?
you want to do an insight check on this? First
Well,
off, I'm going to say
Virla want to
Dani
know
rolled.
what that.
First off, I'm
what
going to
that
say
motto
Dani rolled
translates
a
to.
success, by the way.
16 on the insight.
Virla, what'd you roll on the insight?
I wasn't really gonna try and figure out what he was meaning by it. I just wanted to
Sure, go for it.
see if Virla knew the translation of that motto.
I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you just cast Comprehend Languages, so yes.
Yeah.
You've learned Primordial, all enemies shall burn.
I'm gonna use a flash of genius to make that a dirty 20, just for my own.
He's trying to impart the dirty 20. He's trying to impart something important to you, and it's not that he's trying to betray you. Mm-hmm. It sounds like he's trying to send a coded message, but even with a dirty 20, it's hard to decipher exactly, like, what the code is.
Akna Ignari?
Atka Ignari,
Atka.
all enemies shall burn.
All enemies shall burn. Do we have to go through the lava?
But that's where the dragon is.
I mean, he gave you his advice in getting through, which is if you really want to sneak in, you gotta pull the dragon out.
Or like a lure we could do. Do you think one of us could outrun a dragon?
Yeah, one of
Yes.
us can, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and turn it to Kyana. Is there any check or I guess Virla as well? You didn't really do
Oh,
anything there.
I'm sorry. I had one last thing.
So-
When he says that line, Dani will turn around as though to do one last line and just go, and where'd you get the hat?
Family heirloom. Tipset.
Cool. Okay, that's all I wanted. Gotta find a mummy.
All right.
The dead one, though.
Yeah, you just gotta go kill a mummy. That's the thing about cowboy hats is they all come from mummies in this world. You know, he's a mummy, so you think he'd be like pharaoh-like, but instead of those headdresses, they all just wore cowboy hats.
What a great piece of
I
lore.
fucking love that guy.
Yeah. I'm gonna write that up in my lore document right underneath the whole Tharizdun, the Chain of Oblivion. Mummies invented cowboy hats. Fantastic. Virla and Kyana, there is obviously nothing you have to do, and keeping in mind that any failure could result in something bad. So, if there's no check you really want to do, you don't have to. But, is there any check you would like to make?
There's nothing really that I can think of. Because, like, Emmy has detect magic, but we'd have to be within 30 feet of the building, which isn't going to do much.
You could be a spider.
I could be, but if there's, like, a Dispel Magic ward, then that kind of...
That's true.
Yeah. I think, to play it safe, Virlo won't do anything.
Okay.
Well, during my meanderings around the neighborhood, I would love to be able to make an insight check of some kind to get a feel for how this place works. But I shan't twist anyone's arm.
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
Okay.
And then after you do that, I would love for you to make me a stealth check using charisma.
Oh.
London
All right.
vibing.
All right. Come on, baby. How about a
Holy.
27?
27 insight?
27 insight.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. All right, go ahead and do your thing. What's the other thing?
So my charisma is +1, my dexterity is +3. So
instead
my
of a plus-
stealth is at +7. So if I use my charisma instead, that would only be +5.
Correct.
Okay. How about a 24?
Let's go.
Okay.
Purple
Hell
eye
yeah.
is rolling
Okay.
good tonight.
I would love for you to describe before I tell you about what you observe. I would love for you to describe what the fuck Kyana does that makes her such a natural at not being suspicious as she's scoping out a military target.
So I don't think I've been in this part of the city. I know that, like, the city of Brass is kind of subdivided into tiers, and, like, the heap is at kind of the lower income area, and then it sort of gets more and more expensive as you get closer to the middle of the island. Like, I'm aware of this, but I don't think I've ever actually been in the swanky area. But, like, this is the universe of D&D. Wealth and adventuring dumbness frequently go hand in hand. I feel like idiot swaggering mercenaries are not the most uncommon sight in the more expensive parts of the city. And if I'm correct in this assessment, that would be the sort of angle of my natural vibe that I would be trying to lean into, just to sort of like that kind of person sort of walks around like they own the place because they don't exactly belong anywhere, but they sort of have the right to be there because other people are paying money or will pay money for them to be there and then go and do things for them. So you can get away with a lot by just sort of being like, yeah, you know exactly what kind of person I am. I'm obviously a fighter. I have a big stupid sword on my back. You know, I'm looking around and there's a lot of people with a lot of money and a lot of people who work for them. And I have learned enough. I've spent enough time around Dani to understand the connection between those two statements.
I think you inadvertently stumbled onto a situation which is perfect for Kyana's understanding of wealth, because, like, you are the person in this party who would just walk up to someone and offer them 4 diamonds, and, like, that plays here in a way that it does not play when you are actually trying to buy something.
Yeah, it's kind of got that, like, money is no object, but also give me some vibe. So I think perhaps inadvertently the vibe that I'm producing is that I at least kind of know my shit in combat, and I am kind of new in this part of town. But I would perhaps be a useful idiot. I'm new in town, but I would perhaps be a useful idiot of some kind for somebody willing to pay.
Cool. A useful idiot for someone willing to pay is a sentence, all right. Cool. So, with that Ronco insight, you spend some time keeping an eye out, and I'll give you 2 big insight. These are not perception-based layout things, but insightful pieces. Which is 1, the Arenyas obviously take their job very seriously. There's one stationed at entrances. The other guard, this is a thing Finbar would have learned, by the way. I forgot to mention it. The Arenyas are at the regular entrances, at the entrances, the towers that flank the entrance, but the other ones have regular either Azer or Genasi, right? So the true sight is only at the way in. So that's something Finbar would have learned. Kyana, you notice as they take their job very seriously, the Arenyas. As shift changes, there's got to be at least 5 of them, because you see 3 of them in the towers at the entrance, and they rotate out.
Mm-hmm.
When there's changes of guard and changes in the training yard between Azer and Fire Genasi, and generally just between different companies of people here, it's not that many, but there's clearly different groups. There is a lot of tension, 2 football players that have just one got a great score and the other's pissed off, and they're kind of right up against each other. There's a lot of that going around, so it seems like factions within are maybe not so on the same page. You also notice that the dragon comes down to do people visit. Largely it's military. There are other people, probably government officials, who come in after the Arenyas search them. They are brought up to the next tier outside. The dragon comes down and searches them out. You notice between that and when deliveries are brought, the dragon spends a lot of time will go to people doing tasks and will seem to try to talk to them. So will spend a longer than just sniffing whoever visits, and will go and try to make conversation with other people. With a 27, just come out and say it. This looks bored. This dragon looks bored. It's trying to find stuff to do all the time. This is probably a really boring gig.
Might be able to.
That's delightful.
So
Might be able to put something here.
I'm gonna go ahead and mark off a success there. You accumulated 4 successes and no failures. All right, guys. Sure, why not? And yeah. By the way, Zimbrison can give you rough head counts of the people that are inside. And first off, let me go ahead, because with your 4, you unlocked the other map here. It's reveal areas. So this is the top part of the map. Zimbrissa can give you basically rough numbers of who is in any given room. So if you guys want, you guys have that map. If you point to a room, I can tell you, who's in there, because a lot of things are kind of generic. So, all right. With that, I suspect the heist portion will actually go quickly. So why don't we take our break? We'll do a little, come back, do some planning, the heist, and everyone wins, everyone loses. We'll find out.
Yeah.
All right, see you shortly.
Adios.
Bye.
Rolling with difficulty.
Today's adventure is brought to you by World Anvil. World Anvil is a browser-based world-building tool designed to help you, the creator, write and world build, all while keeping your work organized and in one place. World maps, calendars, customizable wikis, visual timelines, and more let you decide how to best build your world. And then when you're ready to write, look no further than the built-in word processor. You can write your prose directly in World Anvil to keep every step of the process in one place. We all know that TTRPGs are all about the power of friendship, so with real-time collaboration, you can work with your players or other creators on the same project. On top of all of that, World Anvil recently rolled out a new feature called Whiteboards. This visual canvas allows creators to freely draw out their ideas, adding diagrams, flowcharts, mood boards, and more. If you're a more visual creator, then this feature is perfect for you. You can chart out character arcs, storyboard key scenes, dramatically plan out the deaths of your PCs should the need ever arise, or whatever else you need to help make the story you see in your mind come to life. Interested? Of course you are. And it only gets better, because for our listeners, World Anvil is offering a special discount. Just use code PLUG, that's P-L-U-G, at checkout for 40% off a yearly membership. And thank you again to World Anvil.
Rolling with difficulty.
And welcome back. When last we left our heroes, what do y'all want to do?
Alright, well, fill everyone in the info that I obtained, and not necessarily the exact measurement of how I got it, and just sort of give Virla various pointed glances the entire time, be like, don't fucking say shit.
I'm not saying anything.
Don't.
Kyana just, I assume, immediately clocks the whole pointed glances thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so, if we were, the guys that I talked to suggested that if we were to get in there, maybe the dragon is actually something of a weak point.
I was just about to say, something we could do with that dragon.
Oh yeah, dragon's super bored.
Yeah. Did he say
Bored?
that there's an entrance through where the dragon hangs out, or is it just the dragon patrols that top layer?
Yep, so if you notice on the map, so you can see where the lava starts on the inside and flows out through the face. That is the main entrance in. Again, the Efreeti use that because they can just fly, and they're also immune to fire. So they pass right through that area, no harm to them. It's totally safe for them. They float right up. Other people are brought in through the guard rooms, so you'll notice that down on the lowest level, there's a little entrance there. But the dragon flies down from its roost. Its roost is basically like inside the mouth, so that's both the entrance for the Efreeti and where its roost is. It flies down to where people go inside to sniff them out, and then they go in, and he returns back. Or she, you don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah. All right. Something about that dragon we can use to either cause a distraction to give us an opening, to get in. And luckily, we don't need everyone to get in. We just need someone who's fast and stealthy enough to get to the main chamber and get the information.
Oh, I was planning on distracting the dragon, but that does make more sense.
Well,
This
I
might
feel
be-
like that puts us in the point of the fastest one here is Kyana. The one who could probably blend the best is me, and the one who could deal with the dragon the best is probably maybe like who's good at talking to dragons.
Me.
Yeah.
The thing is, though,
No, the
it's
most
a red.
most persuasive is the
Which you do have a belt of its brethren's hide on.
I'm not using it right now. I have
Also,
to take it off so I
She
can make the
turns
sword
it
work.
inside out.
Yeah.
Also, wait, I don't think Finbar would know that, actually. Never mind.
I guess I also have a dragon scale on me, but at least it's not a red dragon.
Right.
Alright.
Oh
I could
yeah,
be
I
going-
mean, chromatics and prismatics are not they're not cool.
They're not simpatico.
Yeah.
I could be going down the wrong line of question, the wrong line of thinking. Dani's contact had said something. He said the motto of what was it, the army, the military, this
Enlightened.
specific building.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly
Yeah.
translating to all enemies will burn. I'm not sure if this is what he was getting at, but perhaps he's implying that enemies will not burn, and the one who does the burning would be the dragon. So maybe not even evading the dragon, but if there was some way to befriend him.
I was thinking of
Then-
it pretty literally too, since everyone who enters this place for the most part walks through a giant pile of lava, and if you're not fireproof, you're probably not supposed to be in there, and you probably would burn.
That's also true.
I mean, there's ways for people who aren't, like, fire genasi aren't fireproof, they're fire resistant, right? So there's a bridge across, and you can go through the normal doors, and you can even get through if you're, climbing, you might be able to get through the entrance of the mouth of the Eye of the Efreeti without, like, touching lava, right? There's ways in without touching lava. But obviously, if, them resisting it's a lot better than it's people who don't resist it. So if, like, they were attacked here, they'd have an advantage.
Well, we're trying to mitigate any sort of combat, really. Okay. So how best do we want to draw out this dragon?
I mean, do we want to draw it out, or do we want to just... I mean, my instinct is always make a big showy thing, get something to chase you, but obviously that's not necessarily the subtlest of approaches, and ideally no one other than this dragon maybe is aware that any of us have entered anywhere.
Kyana, I saw you while I was scoping it out. I saw you walking around the plume, making a big show of things. You could entertain the dragon.
I was blending. Well, that was what I was thinking, but I could probably get into the chambers and out again faster than anybody.
That is
Especially
true.
if we had some kind of magical bailout as an emergency backup plan.
I don't know if we have a magical bailout without you taking in someone who can magically bail out, Like, if the
Figure,
goal
like,
is that
you
you're...
can cast Dimension Door. Can you cast it through Bing?
This was the conversation we
I
had
don't
last
think I
time.
can.
I just don't remember what conclusion we came down on,
I
because it
don't
ended
think
up
I
not
can.
being relevant. Okay.
Yeah, I
I-
don't think so.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Now-
there are other ways out.
Now, he could cast Misty Step through Bing and just teleport to any place he's sent Bing.
I don't have Misty Step is the thing.
Oh, there you go. He can't cast Misty Step.
Never mind.
Well, barring any arcane defenses,
You can learn
I
Misty
could-
Step, can you?
is it a wizard spell?
Is it a cleric's? I don't think it's a cleric's spell either.
He's not high
It's a
level cleric.
warlock spell, but that doesn't really help anyone.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh no, it is a
Thanks,
wizard
Richie.
spell. I could learn it.
Okay. You want to learn a new spell?
Yes.
You gotta
I
see
don't know
you
if that'll
find
help.
It, right? That's
I-
by the scroll.
Well, can't Emmy can
Emmy.
just learn spells just from watching them happen,
Oh!
right?
That you
Yeah.
see cast that are wizard spells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
all right,
Well, I was
give
also
me-
going to suggest. I would shrink myself, and Kyana and I would smuggle ourselves in.
That's true.
This is
You could
barring
do that.
any arcane defenses that might, dispel magic, of course.
Mhm.
But you know what you
But-
could always do is, you don't need to breathe, right?
No.
So you could shrink yourself. You could be like in her pocket. That's easier, right? But you could also be in the bag of
Be
holding,
in the bag of
which
holding.
which would be a nightmare, but technically doable.
I like how you're just making this so much harder for yourself as the DM.
I don't know. It seems fun. I want you guys to do your best,
Well,
and
in
then I'm going to
terms,
do my best and try to stop you. So
Okay, so it seems like there's like a few phases here that we need to just sort of hammer out who's where at what point, because we can't all be everywhere at once, and we also can't just have one person do everything all at once. So
everyone,
there is
everywhere, all at once.
the first phase is, and where are we entering from, and where is the dragon in relation to that? Feels to me like there's two options: the front door and not the front door, and then the dragon's at the front door or the dragon's not at the front door. And by the front door, I do mean the mouth spewing lava. Personally, and I lean towards the front door and the dragon being there and someone just sort of like talking at it or something, because like I feel like anything where the dragon goes somewhere else is going to alert everyone else in that yard that something's happening,
So
And
we
we
do
want-
something to keep the dragon at the entrance so that someone can sneak in through the guard room entrance.
I don't know if I would, like, I think in my mind everyone's going in through the main entrance, not the guard room entrance, but... Because if we go in through the guard room entrance, we gotta pass through the anti-magic or whatever's.
We don't know what's
the
there.
Aranese are sort of at the base.
Yes. So if anyone who
I thought
goes
the
in
Aranese
normally
were at the
is
entrance.
going to get swept for
So we have to take a.
for illusions.
Yeah.
So
So
we
like
want to-
someone invisible can't like walk through the gate, and you guys couldn't put an illusion and pretend to be an Efreeti because they'll spot you. That's right out.
So the Aranese are at the guard room entrance, not the mouth
So
entrance.
do you notice this triangle right here? This triangle of towers
Yes.
that I'm pinging? There's one station in each of those towers.
Okay, I understand now.
Going in from that north into the mouth would be
Then I
probably
yes, I
our
agree with
best.
Daddy then.
In terms of not being seen, just looking at this map, that northern storeroom has some corridors away from sort of large areas. So if we run into people, a corridor might be an easier way to go rather than going up into the eye and into the audience chamber. Again, like I don't know what or who we'll find in any given area.
That might
A
put us in
reminder,
front of...
Zimbrissa knows who is in each room. I'm not going to list those out because that would, I'm sure no one would remember it and it would be a pain. But if you ever want to know, just ask me and I'll tell you who is in each room.
We could scribble them on the map.
That would be,
I mean, you can just, like, mark...
I could drop some tokens, but I think it would be easier for me to tell you if you.
Yeah.
I guess
Okay.
what's
If you-
important
Are we
to know is, like,
assuming
if
then
we
that
go
every-
through the eye of the Efreeti, is there going to be someone there when we...
Yes, that's
Yes,
the
sir.
big thing.
Excellent question. Yeah, let me check my notes.
I'm guessing there might be other Efreeti.
I'll go ahead and ping in the chamber labeled Eye of the Efreeti. There are 2 regular ass guards, fire genasi guards, stationed at any given time.
Okay.
There's also the dragon. That's kind of the assumption, right? Is unless the dragon flies out, there's also a dragon there. So that is the we'll call it the antechamber to the audience chamber.
Okay.
And then we could either
The
go into the
offices.
hallway, the offices, or straight ahead to the audience chamber.
Correct.
We could. I know, Dani. I know you got that fly spell. Zimrissa can turn into an Efreeti and easily just
I don't-
fly her way up into that entrance.
I don't think Zimrissa is getting involved in the actual heisting part,
Zimrissa
right?
did
Yeah.
not
Oh,
want to
she's
get
not
There's
going
no
in.
point. Zimrissa can't go in on this part.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, would still need to go through some lava and is not fireproof.
And
as
also,
far as
there's
I'm
a
aware.
dragon there
And the dragon. All right. Well,
who
somebody.
sniffs you out. That's the whole one.
Do you need to get through the lava, or can you like kind of squeeze
I
it?
think
It's
you
not a
could
curtain of lava. It's not a
Yeah.
curtain of lava. It's,
That's
it's
what I
a
was
waterfall.
thinking.
So you
I think
can
you
get
could
up.
squeeze it long enough, but if you're disguised as an Efreeti, it might be weird that you're not just ignoring it, because to them that's
True.
nothing, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, that's true. All right.
I have a pertinent question. Can any of you
yeah.
turn me invisible? Like, is that a thing any of us can do?
I can give
We
you.
have 3 full-off spellcasters knowing those invisibility.
That would be so convenient.
It's not on the
I
druid
mean,
spell
I'm
list.
not stealthy
really
nor
funny.
charismatic. It was never going to be a useful spell for me.
I got
I can
past.
either
Can't you
bring you
turn
back
other
for the
people
dead,
invisible?
or I can make you invisible, and I'm choosing one of those options.
I've got pass without trace. That'll help with stealth. But that's all.
just
That's
think-
about all I
That's
got.
true.
It would be
thought you
ideal
had
if we could get through this
invisibility
without
from
them
the-
ever knowing I was here.
I mean, look, again, think of invisibility as not a foolproof way of not getting caught. The mechanics of it are you have an advantage on your rolls, so think of it like predator stealth. You might still get spotted. The alternate to that is pass without trace, which makes you like literally difficult to spot as you are like shadowy and dark. So, Finbar has to be close to you for pass without trace to work, but one is an advantage on the stealth, one is a +10 to the stealth. It's kind of a 6 one way, half dozen another kind of situation.
Plus 10 on stealth is pretty fun.
Yeah.
That would give me
Yeah.
a plus
I
17.
just don't want you guys to
feel
be
like
like,
we
oh,
are
well,
getting
I'm
a
invisible,
little.
I might get spotted.
Like, I
Your
like the
stealth is your
idea
stealth.
of us buffing ourselves, but I think maybe we're getting a little cart before the horsey here.
Right.
We still need to decide this is the way we're going in, and this is who's going in and what they're doing when they're in there. Because until we have that locked down, it kind of doesn't matter how stealthy any one person is. They still have no plan.
It's true.
There's the two obvious ways in. You can go in through the guard room, which has the most people you have to go past, but it's, the closest. And they're all normal-ass people. or you go in through the Eye of the Efreeti, which has a dragon in it usually, and is high up, and you'd probably have to like, sneak your way in there. But it puts you really close to where you gotta be. There's only one other room.
I don't know. I feel like the obvious choice is the Eye of the Efreeti.
I agree.
What's going on with the storerooms? Because I know that there's one ship that comes in.
The storerooms, you'll notice there's stairs on the storerooms. Those lead up to the sheds that you see on the top level. So that's another way in. That puts you kind of halfway through. The storerooms are... Give me a sec. Neither of them have any guards in them. They're full of, like, tools and weapons and food and shit.
And the storerooms lead directly to the offices, which I assume are occupied.
The offices usually have people. One has an Arcanoloth in it, who is like, their secretary basically. And then, that's where their secretary lives basically, who is an Arcanoloth. So that's a Yugoloth. It's a female.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
it
Virla,
looks
you
like
know
a
how to deal
fox,
with
dude.
those.
I do?
Yeah. Actually, Virla, why don't you make a like an Arcana or a lore? Since probably need lore.
Yeah.
Lore is make a history or Arcana check. Lore fits so much better than history. Like, it's not historical, but it's also not magic. It's legend. Anyway.
That is a 25.
25. So Yugoloths are famously, they are neutral evil, which means they are famously greedy. They are neither chaotic in terms of usurping masters, but they are also not like lawful have to follow rule. Like they literally follow. They usually follow the money, right? So make of that what you will.
So, past the storerooms, if we wish to go into the offices, we merely have to pay a toll, let's call it.
It's a reasonable assumption that if you got caught in there, you could bribe your way out. Not a guarantee, probably there'd be a check, but it's certainly a thing you could that's possible.
And the audience chamber, do we know if there would be anyone in there?
Yes.
My assumption is that because it's a working day, there would be.
Unless there is currently a meeting going on, no one is stationed in there.
Alright.
So,
okay.
If you time it that there's no one visiting, and you aren't going as, official, then there shouldn't be anyone in there.
I feel like then.
The only way in and out of the audience chamber, though, is through the Eye of the Efreeti.
Isn't there a little door in that back corner
Ooh.
connected to the room?
You're right. Okay.
It looks like it, yeah.
Huh. All right.
But we would have to go into the offices to get into the audience chamber, but then we would go into a room that we could have
If we
gone in
enter
through.
through the Eye of the Efreeti, then we don't have to go through the offices to get to the audience chamber.
That's true.
No, we can just go straight to the audience chamber, then up to the left of that room? Just up from that room and then down into
Yeah,
the
go ahead,
conference
draw on the
rooms.
map. Yeah, that
I
is
don't think there's
obviously...
a door there.
Red has shown us the shortest route.
Hey, I
That
didn't
was
draw
me.
that.
Oh, sorry, I don't
That
know
was
who
me.
that.
Is
So
that...
that is a...
Oh,
I
that
should've
is
known.
that,
It's so
is that an opening or a door?
All the little tiny squares are doors.
It doesn't look like there's a
Yeah,
door
you'd have to
between-
go, if you go, the upper chamber, that, like, big box has a door connecting it to the audience chamber, so we'd have to go up
Like,
and
there's
then
no,
sort of, like...
there's no door here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
Oh,
if
you
there
have
is,
to,
at
okay.
least.
So Conflagrar's chambers, there's only one door in and out.
Yeah.
But what about from the audience chamber to the antechamber to the Conflagar's
Audience chamber, antechamber, Conflagrar. Yeah, there's a door through there. That red path that Wally drew is a path.
Oh, that.
That actually
Okay.
works? There's a door there?
Not.
I think
The-
that-
not
I'll
this
take
way?
it.
Hold on, give me a sec. Yeah, there is. There's one on my map at least, so there should be one
Interesting.
Okay,
Oh,
I can
yeah,
see the
that-
map.
That is also a valid way, but
there. This
It's
the
not the
map
shortest
that
path.
is here is drawn incorrectly, and I don't know if that's supposed to be a slight on the players, but I don't think it should be. There is a door between there and here. I'm looking at it on the map. So
Okay.
okay.
it also doesn't make any sense. What the guy that's in charge has to walk all the way the fuck
Yeah.
around
Okay. Yeah. No. So.
to get to the audience chamber when he wants to talk to people. No, he goes in through the back like a judge. So yeah, there's a
right.
door there.
Cool.
Yeah, a weird detail. Yeah, thanks for noticing that. I don't know why it's like that. Wizards of the Coast.
Okay, so
That
we
does
have
make it easier.
our route in through the eye and just straight back to the chambers. Let's direct.
If everything goes well, you should only have to get past. There's a dragon in there, and there's 2 regular guards.
And then nobody in the audience chamber or the two chambers.
Assuming we time it
after
correctly.
Yes.
Assuming there is no one there, Conflagar is supposed to be out, and assuming that there is no one being like entertained in the audience chamber, then you should be groovy.
Right.
My contact gave me the sense that the dragon is amenable to maybe having some entertainment, and it's a dragon that could range from playing with its food to having an incredibly deep conversation about the nature of the cosmos or fucking whatever. But it makes me think that maybe we could talk to it as opposed to trying to like lure it somewhere and just maybe get on its good side. It's a bit risky, but fucking everything here is.
I think distracting the dragon and getting it away from the door is probably easier than trying to completely subvert it from its job.
So how would we manage to do that then?
The dragon leaves its post a few times a day for different reasons and usually seems to make every excuse possible to stay away and keep doing whatever it is that it's doing.
It leaves when
So-
new people show up for it to talk to.
Right, so new people show up for it to talk to. It'll probably stay there for a while. And then I can try and, speed in, stealthy style.
And then what are you doing about the two guards if it's just you,
Hopefully being stealthy enough that they don't see me.
Yeah. Also, keeping in mind that there is a 60-foot river of lava going all the way across all the way around the thing.
Yeah, my plan was to go up the wall, so...
Yeah, the walls are surrounded by lava. It goes it's an island.
But
No.
if Kyana was-
My plan was once I get past the lava the lava waterfall into the eye of the Efreeti room, just up on
Just
the
walk
walls.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, okay. The only way on is a bridge, right? Does that make sense?
Yes. Whoops.
So, if you don't walk across the bridge, which you'll then have to either climb over the gate or go, under the gate or something, but that's where the Arenyas with their true sight are. Otherwise, you have to get across the big-ass moat that circles this thing 360. It cuts off a big chunk of it here, but behind the head is more river of lava. It's a circle of, it's an oval of river of lava, and the whole castle sits in the middle of it on an island. So, you either have to walk across the bridge, or you just gotta get across the lava some other way.
I can make Kyana fly, but maybe a Hail Mary here, since I don't know a lot about dragons, but we have a dragon-sized flying thing that can look like another dragon. Do you think we could make it talkative? You know what I mean? If someone on the ship
do the
was
sexy rat from Fantasy High?
But do you guys see what I'm saying? If we flew around the back, dragon has to come all the way around to investigate.
Uh-huh.
There's another dragon there to talk to. I imagine
This
that's
sort
more
of seems
interesting
like-
to it than...
Would it not also attract the Efreeti or the Arenyas, which have true sight?
Yeah, the illusion thing is,
Yeah.
I would not be in favor of the sexy dragon plan.
Well,
I'm
also
not trying to
hold
say
on,
the
Austin.
dragon
I mean, I like it.
It's funny.
Austin, there is no path into the audience, the interior eye of the Efreeti that is if someone who can walk on any surface in any orientation still cannot get into
No,
the
I don't think it'd be
room.
difficult to get
No,
a potion
so
of fire resistance in the
okay.
city, though.
Hold on, stop real quick. The Eye of the Efreeti is a big hole, and there's a lava it's a big tunnel, and on the floor of that tunnel, there's a river of lava that pours down. So there's lots of ways to get in through. If you can walk on the ceiling, you can walk on the walls, and not walk in the lava. The problem is the island, the castle itself, is entirely surrounded by lava. If Kyana even wants to get onto the wall to try to walk in to the Eye of the Efreeti, she's got to get across a 60-foot moat of lava.
I can make her fly
was just-
60 feet around.
Yeah, I was
so if
assuming
it's
that she
just
would be
one
flying.
person, that's not an issue.
Okay, then yes.
But-
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's why I was suggesting-
and then Kyana could walk
Yeah.
on the wall.
Okay.
Inside.
I
That's
understand.
I recognize that we have the true sight issue, but that's why I was suggesting using the ship in some capacity, because I could only make one person fly, and there are 4 of us.
So you would be okay then with the Arenyas realizing that our ship isn't a dragon,
No,
but a
that
ship?
is the part that I would not like. No,
I see.
I,
Okay.
I thought their range was limited to that kind of triangle area, not the whole island.
Well, they can't see, but if a big ass dragon flies by and then their guard dog leaves, they're not gonna be like, "Oh, that was weird," you know?
They might leave to investigate, possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys can come up with a good reason for the dragon to come and check you guys out, and then keep its attention for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like kind of
theoretically minutes, right? Like Kyana would need how long to get in. The problem is you also have to find what you're looking for, right? I don't want.
That's probably going to be the longest part, because I don't really know what we need.
It's
That's
a
true.
ledger.
It's going to be an investigation to find it.
Yeah. Which is Virla or Dani, realistically.
Yeah.
Okay, the shrinking Virla plan, I kind of like at this point.
Yeah, it
Or
feels like if
shrinking
anyone's
Virla,
going
putting-
in, Virla and Kyana are the two that have to go in no matter what.
for
'cause
sure.
Virla
Okay.
can get them out in a pinch. If Kyana can fly and he's shrunk, they should be able to,
Especially if you give me some time to jot down Misty Step and commit it to memory.
Perfect. Yeah, I can essentially be Virla's valet for this one.
I
Which is a
will
lot
say
less
though,
pressure than doing the whole thing myself.
I will say our plan of entrance relies on Kyana's stealthiness. If we were to use Pass Without a Trace, that would rely on
I'd have to be
Finbar
there,
being
yeah.
with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Finbar could also be a tiny.
yeah.
Can't you?
Yeah.
You could be a tiny thing too, right?
Be a tiny thing.
I'm gonna go ahead and rule anything that's tiny that Kyana's carrying is just gonna use her stealth.
Okay.
So shrunk Virla doesn't need to make a stealth check, and if Finbar is like a spider,
And
yeah.
Spider
then he's not
Finbar.
gonna-
Oh, Spider Finbar can keep concentration on
Cast it
spells.
before I wild shape, and I
Perfect.
can hold my wild shape for
So then-
a couple hours.
So then I'm the distraction.
Would Dani be comfortable?
That's the only
Danny's
thing.
the
Danny
dragon,
becomes
yes.
the distraction. But as you've said before, she's the one who sticks out the least.
That is true.
I guess, like...
You managed to keep an Eldritch Lich occupied in conversation for a good while. I think you can handle a dragon.
It's Danny's call. We don't
Family
need to
Guy
do it.
style cuts to stranger just sitting in the pyramid, and the boomerang goes, "What does it mean?"
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
It's like just the skeleton like scritch on the head meme. Cuts back.
You are right though, Kyana. It is Dani's call.
There we go. We got a stranger
There we
appearance
go.
in season 4. Everyone, be happy.
We got Cowboy Mummy, we got Stranger,
Yeah.
two spooky dudes.
two spooky dudes.
That's the next campaign. Is just two
That's-
spooky dudes.
Two spooky dudes.
I'm not against it. I guess I'm just curious as to what manner of distraction you guys have in mind. Because
You
there's
are
two.
a blue fire genasi.
Yeah,
will
but I
say-
think we're forgetting the core idea here. If I'd like nobody in this city to know I was anywhere near this place, me, Dani specifically,
Exactly.
That is a problem, right?
Yes.
and I can disguise myself to look different, and that'll work a little bit. But if any of those guys with the funky eyes get close to me, it's game over. And they probably will
If they
chase
come
any
asking around,
pretty big.
they're like,
distraction.
"Danny, this tall," and you could be like, "Oh, Danny's this tall. I don't know what you're talking about."
Can. What is the?
Again, I can make a distraction, but I need to know exactly who, what, where, and how to make sure it's limited, you know?
Wait, hear me out. Danny does this while blue, and then Virla does a restoration, a remove curse on her, and makes her orange
Don't.
again.
You're gonna upset the fans.
I feel like if she was blue when she was revived, then she's staying blue forever.
She's pretty blue. It's pretty blue. She's
If it
pretty blue
happens
at this
twice,
point.
you get to stay blue in real life.
You get to stay blue, yeah.
We can toss bolts at the motive force generator until Danny turns some other color.
I mean, I have a motorcycle in the hold, and I feel like I could outrun a lot of things on that. So I guess my thing is more like, where's the optimal place for...
I think that. Oh boy. Yeah.
Wait, you want to distract the dragon by doing wheelies on your motorcycle?
I mean, I, Dani, can run, I don't know, about 30 feet every 6 seconds or so. The motorcycle's definitely faster than that.
Sure, fair enough.
And I think a dragon might
saying-
even be faster than that. So, you know.
You're saying this in the event of an escape, not for
I don't
distraction.
know a situation where I can get over a giant river of lava into the dragon's chamber to talk to it to distract it, so it does feel a little bit like...
Well, it comes out
Yeah.
when people visit, right?
Yes, the dragon leaves the. You wouldn't need to go inside to get the dragon. The dragon will come out to see you.
Yeah, and then the guys with their true sight will see that I, a citizen of the city of Brass, am here, note who I am, and rain hell on any of my friends and accomplices if they ever link me back to you guys.
Unless you
Right.
have a good reason to be there. Like, I've seen people come here for various reasons. The dragon comes out to see them.
Could you say that you're trying to be here to establish, a network between the heap and this place? And you could, talk with the dragon to try and do so, and it doesn't matter if you fail, then, you've distracted the dragon long enough, and if you succeed, you've given Otto a very powerful client.
This would be a DM's discretion thing. Do I
Yeah.
have any idea of, like, the plausible reasons why people do come here and then, hang out with the dragon? Like, did I get a feel for, like, was it, like, petitioners or, like, people who had business dealings with the guy or just, like, people who were bringing in the deliveries?
Yeah, so most of the deliveries come in via the gondola system, the fireproof gondola system. But the people who were going there were largely military. But, I mean, Dani, you did get the notion before, what's his fuck? The mummy said that he had been in there before. So, like, people must, like, walk up and have good reasons to see them. How well they're received may or may not be.
And
But
what's I think a blue fire genasi would distract a dragon for quite.
it could, if she wants to talk to it. But like Dani has many services that she could provide. It could, if she wants to go as herself, there's certainly something she could probably sell there as an adventurer or a mechanic or something, and vice versa. If she wants to lie and be someone else, then there's plenty of fucking. She could be anyone.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think perhaps the strongest distraction would be coming on behalf of the heap and trying to establish a new client. It is the most above board distraction that you would have, because if anyone would ask, there is nothing about that would be untoward.
It would just immediately connect me and the heap to possibly
But
Only if they get caught.
a crime.
The goal is not to.
But then they would have to
See, on the one hand, you could lose everything, but on the other hand, you could win everything.
I've
So-
lost a lot for you guys and your personal vendettas. There's a line in which I'm willing to actually risk my life, livelihood, and remaining alive friends for this.
If we get caught, then I don't think it matters whether or not your distraction is based on the heap or not. We would be caught. Right?
I don't know. Well,
I don't think there's a world where I can go in disguised.
well-
So this is
I don't think we need Dani to distract the dragon. The dragon already gets distracted, right?
yeah. I'm not worried about like drawing its attention if I'm walking to the front door.
That's
you know?
true. You guys could wait for the dragon to go do one of the many things. It just means that there's, like, if you sent Dani can make a point of trying to distract
Yeah.
it. If you wait for it to do something else, you still have a chance, but it's going to be a die roll on, like, how long
Right.
it's distracted, right?
If Dani doesn't want to risk it, we can do that.
Sure.
All right.
All right, you guys have a plan?
I mean, what am I doing? Like, am I? I don't
Casting
want to just
fly, it
sit
sounds
around
like.
while you guys risk your lives. I'm just.
Well, I mean, that kind of sounds like what you are doing. Look, it's fine. You can't do
And
everything.
you don't want this falling back on you.
You have a family here. You have people that matter.
It's not a great
people-
combination, but then the best way for you to not have anything be traced back to you is if you were involved as little as possible.
All right.
It's not the greatest look. It's not the greatest feeling to suggest that you need to sit out on this one. But it's also perhaps the safest for you, the heap. You and the heap.
Okay, where are we going to be posting up?
Well, there's plenty of... if you mean to wait for the dragon to move,
Yeah.
cool. I will have you guys roll a group charisma stealth very low DC to because you guys have to post out right. Again, if like someone was triggering this, you guys could just roll up at the right time, but you guys gotta wait for the right moment and not look suspicious. So everyone who's involved, I will have them go ahead and roll.
Can I be shrunk and have Kyana envelop my charisma already?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess how long does shrink last?
It lasts an hour.
Okay, how many of those do you have? Because it might take more than an hour.
It could take more than an hour, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I have as many shrinks as I have third, fourth, and fifth slots.
Oh, then
I mean,
you're.
I don't want to. I'm sorry. So, Sophia, the player, feels a little bit like an asshole here. Like, I don't want to like make you guys just continue the plan because I know we're recording the podcast in time. Like, Dani needed a moment to think. But if the situation was, if the only option is either we make a distraction at the exact time you need, and then everyone's spells are used in the way they need them to, and the plan goes off smoother, or waiting around all day. Like, Dani's not gonna let her friends be that at risk. She's just gonna be really pissed about it for a while.
Well,
so
I think it's up to Dani, but I also think, I mean, just a note from the players. Obviously, I'm the DM. Whatever you guys want to do is I'm game for.
Sure. I just mean like I know we're progressing in the game with speed because we're recording. I didn't mean for that pause to be, and now Dani's decided to tap out. I do want to game it out.
Okay.
Yeah, is there a dramatic moment like everyone heading off to go do this thing where Dani rejoins them?
Wait!
Everyone's waiting. Everyone's like flying over the island, and then you see in the lineup of people going to the gates, like a hood goes down, and it's the blue.
Dramatic reveal, the last we heard. Oh, it's like the what's the episode of Ariel, I think is the episode of Firefly, where Inara is like, I'm not going to have any part of this, it's too dangerous! And then the twist is that she was a part of it the whole time, and she was like waiting for them to get double-crossed so that she could bail them all out. Yeah, just Dani's like, I'm not going to do it. And then we see, like, you guys... so Virla... So, we don't need to do any charisma checks. Set up. Virla casts Shrink.
Sure.
Okay,
Right, so
you're going to be...
Virla.
The shrink sound effect.
Yeah, what?
what was that?
Pocket Virla. It's getting tucked in.
Gotcha. Finbar, what you up to?
I will cast Pass Without Trace, and turn into.
Am I in the
spider.
bag of holding, or am I just Kyana's pocket?
All right.
I'm doing the Kyana pocket plan unless we really want to put you in the bag of holding, but I'll be honest.
Honestly, I'm kind of curious.
Would it?
I don't remember if I have the bag of holding.
We're waiting for the opportunity first before we move in, right?
Unless someone were to dramatically speak up.
You know Dani is on her way.
Okay.
Dani's doing it right now.
Yes.
We're gonna.
Okay.
So this is the prep round where everyone's like, Dani's about to get into place. Your concentration, this is gonna happen in minutes, not hours.
Sure.
So you can
Pass
get all
Without
your
Trace,
stuff
spider.
prepped. So
Before they left, I would have put a hand on Kiana's shoulder and cast Fly. So she has that for an hour.
you cast Fly, and you go off.
When
all right.
you do that, I'm going to mind link with you.
This is very smart. How long does Mind Link last?
I can give her the ability to respond to me for an hour. However, I will shoot myself in the foot and say that rules as written, mind link only works within 100 feet.
Okay.
And it says to any creature you can see. The problem is it doesn't really have the same restrictions to who can respond to me, so it gets weird.
So the who you can see refers to when you start it, I believe, right?
Okay.
So you can't send it through a wall, but you could link up with Dani and then walk around a wall and talk to her. Now, the responding, I'm going to assume rules is intended. It sounds like once they're 100 feet away, you guys can't hear each other. But let's say if you guys get within 100 feet, as long as you don't do it to anyone else, if you guys get within 100 feet in the next hour, you can the communication will open back up.
Cool.
I also
Is that good?
Not to kind of order of operations.
Yeah, you're good.
Is Virla learning Misty Step?
Yes.
Because in that case,
Yes.
we would require at least a day because Virla would need to learn or to change out his spells at the beginning of the day.
That's totally okay. It's only taken you guys like a day to do this so far. So that night.
So then we will assume that
I
this
do
is
believe
happening.
Emmy has to make a roll. So Virla. So
This is true.
Finbar casts it.
Wait. Yes, I will cast it.
Okay.
I need to
It's a second level
make
spell, which means you need to make an Arcana
a
check
DC
DC
12.
12.
All
And I
right.
think she has a +8 to this.
She does.
So just try not to fuck it up.
What does Emmy see then?
And this is happening on the first day?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
assume this is all day one. You guys have been taking care of stuff. Don't worry. Then the next day, fresh spell slots.
I don't freak out.
I'm watching Noir just shake his hand for so long, like he's about to shoot craps and his last dime is on.
Virla and
is on this
Emmy,
roll.
I know you're in there. Just don't blink.
As if it's not something you could try again.
And I, anime style, appear right behind him and tap him on the shoulder as I cast the spell.
Write that down. Write that down.
Roll.
Teleports behind you.
I rolled a 5, which makes that a 13.
13,
Which
yes.
beats it.
Are you guys
You
taking a
beat it.
bag of holding, or because I have one? I didn't know if there was a group one, but I forgot about.
Did we take the one from fucking Doofenshmirtz back?
No, you did not get.
All right. So the only if we were to do the bag of holding idea, it would have to be Danny's. But
Yeah, but I don't know if Dani like needs it. Like I don't know. You know.
How? Wait. How?
I mean,
you
it's got
guys.
all my goop in there, but other than that,
Oh
Vera
man, that would have
rattling
been
around
so
with the
interesting for
boot.
the dragon.
I have topaz dragon goop. It might be into that.
Yeah. Are we getting the bag of holding? Or are you giving that to us?
I mean, if you guys need it. If you don't, I'd rather hold on to it. Like, if you're shrunken,
Okay.
you could be in Kyana's pocket. That's one thing. But if you guys think you're gonna need the bag of holding, I'll give you the bag of holding.
the
Okay.
risk is not knowing what if there's like a dispel magic gate, for instance.
Right. Right.
But that would also affect fly and a bunch of other things. So
We'd have bigger problems.
we would have bigger problems. This is true.
I'm gonna
Yeah, there'd
leave
be
that
bigger
up to you
problems
guys.
if
Do you
Vera was
want the
suddenly
bag of
being
holding or
normal
no?
size.
If you want it, I'll give it to you. If
I
you
think
don't,
I think not. Then we're okay.
Okay.
We
Okay.
can try some other
All right.
time to. I can delve the bag of holding another time.
All right.
Oh, I just had a great idea for a Virla solo one-shot. Adventuring
Journey to
through
the
the
center of
dungeon
the
that
bag
is
of
the bag
holding.
of
Oh
holding.
my god. Oh my god, wait. A fucking like what's the word I'm looking for? Funhouse dungeon that's
Ah,
in
shit, I DM sniped him.
a bag of
Focus.
holding. That's
One
so
adventure
good.
at a
No,
time.
that's your one shot. You run that. Anyway. Okay, so you guys everyone prepares. Dani goes off. Dani, you cross this bridge. It's like 200 feet. That's actually no, it's not because it's not that long across. It's like it's pretty wide here where the bridge is, right? So it's like a 100-foot bridge that you cross. And what is Dani's headspace with every step that she has to take alone across this flame illuminated river as she walks towards this big ass? By the way, there's an iron gate and then there's a portcullis on the other side. So there's like 2 gates you got to get through this like fucking imposing ass government military building. How does Dani feel?
every single step is filled with the immediate instinct to turn around and run, reinforced by over 20 years of life in this city. This is, like, in Dani's mind, there are a few lines that she thought she would never have to cross, and the fact that she is about to step over one of those lines is not sitting great with her, but she cares enough about her friends to not want to see them die in a way that she grew up fearing. So, powering through as straight-faced as an asshole can be.
Amazing. You make your way, stand at the bottom of this huge iron gate, the banner hanging over you with the symbol and motto flapping in the breeze. One of the Arenyes, which, by the way, so they're these they're devils. They're all female. They have wings, and they wear all this black plate armor.
Girl boss.
Are they? Yeah, actually, is there anything else on? Yeah, they're
Okay.
they're
Gaslight?
pretty. They're honestly pretty girl
Gatekeep,
bossy. Like
girl boss.
Literal
let me see what else.
gatekeeper.
They have red wings, horns, and they're all like fucking like porcelain pale, right?
Ooh.
With like bright red lips.
Kind of.
You Finbar, stay on mission.
No more X's.
Keep
no
objective,
more
keep
X's.
objective.
You're engaged.
You
Odds that you've dated one of these guys before?
Zero. Not
well,
Finbar's
that would be
type.
pretty funny,
Not
actually.
Finbar's type.
Now, for story reasons, we can't, but it would be pretty funny if there was a mechanic for roll for X every time we met
Yeah.
someone. It was just like a D100, and if you rolled a 3 or lower, it was an X.
I love it.
You approach, and one of the Arenyes kind of flutters up to the edge of what's the word I'm looking for? The wall that surrounds a tower, so she
Perfect.
can see down and looks down and says, "What business do you come here?"
I'm seeking work. I'm a skilled mechanic, and I'm looking for clients.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me.
Gonna use my flash of genius to add 4 to this. So that is a 19.
You see she flies over to another one. There's like some whispering. And then
The blue isn't an illusion.
flies.
She's actually blue.
They can see that.
Yes, they can see that. She flies back to her post where she can see you. She says, "The Flaggerar will see you. Please display all weapons that they may be checked upon your arrival."
And like every scene in a heist where one member has to take out 80,000
So the
knives.
gate opens, portcullis is raised, and you walk into a central area where the third Arenyas, who's holding like this magic blue lasso, comes down and
Lasso of
begins to
truth?
inspect you. It's a rope of entanglement in case anyone is trying to break in. So her true sight, she sees that in fact you have no illusion disguising you. You are all cool. And then so Dani pulls out gun,
Spitfire,
burning fluctuation.
random dagger, a bunch of stuff.
Assorted goops.
Yeah, baronium fluctuator technically.
Yes. Okay, you spend all that stuff. Then she says, "Gun, we have one last check before you are to see the Flaggerar." And then she motions through. She lets out a whistle. You hear like a, and the dragon like crawls out from their wings spread, glides down. At this point, I assume you guys want to waste no moments.
Yeah, we're
That's
fucking
not
booking
cute.
it.
Fucking
Cool.
not.
You see Kyana. I just imagine, like sprints down and then like jump flies across.
Yeah, Superman style. Yeah. So let's see,
okay.
it's 60 feet of fly, right?
It is 60 feet of fly.
So I can
So
move
you're able to-
180 squares around.
You can get all the way to the top in a single round. I'm going to ask you to roll your first stealth check here just to avoid being spotted by any of the civilians.
Right,
This is
so-
a DC 10.
And it's currently at plus 17.
Plus, so I guess don't bother rolling. What the fuck am I talking
Are you
about?
sure?
You're
What
good.
if it's a crit?
Don't you know? You're invisible if you're flying.
Honestly, Shadow clings to her, and to everyone who might have even been glancing at eyes, their eyes just kind of slide off, but anyone who might have even been looking just seems kind of like a cloud of ash wafting up through the streets as Kyana, Spider, and Tiny Robot in tow flies across and then clings to the side, scrambles up and over as you see the dragon fly down to inspect
Must have
Dani.
been the wind.
Yeah.
Dani.
That's 30
Here
feet per
is-
second.
Yeah. Well, Dani has to see if she can hold this dragon's attention. So, as the dragon lights down, Dani, you are standing face to face with, a 10-foot tall reptile. I don't know if any flashbacks to facing Malocibrius might come up.
Danny's
but-
first thought is, man, it's not as big as the last one was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's nothing. Yeah, Danny's like, fuck this dude. Like,
I think Danny will out loud say, hey, you're a little smaller than the last dragon I saw.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yes, yes!
go ahead, make a persuasion check.
Ooh, natural 18 plus 5, so 23.
Keep it coming.
On a DC 20, you see the dragon like kind of rears up, brings back teeth, and then it lets out like a smoky cough, like. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. That's a good one.
No, really. Do you see
Many
that?
other dragons in your line of work?
Actually, a lot. I've been working with an adventuring crew for a while. We've fought and killed a decaying topaz dragon in the Plain of Salt, and a while back I actually ran into some red dragons, plural, because a lot of run-ins with the Gith out in the Astral Sea.
I don't believe you. That can't be true.
Look at-
No,
I'll show
you're
him the-
fucking- You're pulling something on me. No, the dragon like a big cat, like kind of curls up, and like puts its like claws under its chin.
New best
Fuck all of
friend.
us.
Weird big dude. Weird big dude.
Fuck all
you
of us.
fucking with me? No, that can't be true.
I can prove it. I can prove it. And I'll point to. I assume that they have kept my weapons far away from me, but the on
Yeah,
the Spitfire over there, that topaz dragon scale. That's from our last run-in.
I gotta see this. You see the Arenas is like, that would be.
You guys could be the one to
but
hold
you
it.
have to get it for me. She's small. I'll just eat her if it's alive. Bring it. Anyway, that is enough to keep him distracted for
Go Dani.
as long as you need, as up to an hour, which hopefully this whole heist should not take. All right, Kyana, you land just above the face and walk down, black shadow completely blending in with the obsidian surface of this palace.
Nice.
You crawl in through and see, in fact, exactly what you expected. There is a dragon roost up top, which you can see there's like a little bit of shine, maybe some treasure up there, by the way.
Nah, Danny's not here. Well, we can skip it.
There's a pool of lava that seems to be, it's like a little fountain, actually.
Oh,
It's
that's
like
cute.
unclear if they're pulling lava up from somewhere or if it's like magically generating lava.
Responsible.
But there's like this little pool that's like this little fountain that's generating it, and it flows out and down past you. The heat is really intense here, and you can feel like sunburn, you get like a sunburn on one side of your face kind of situation
Oh, it's happening.
as you like walk in. And indeed, there are posted 2 guards. The dispel magic field completely now.
Bro, come on.
No
Have
dispel
that
magic
gift
field.
prison.
I'm not gonna pull the same trick twice. Come on.
You absolutely could.
You
This is a
absolutely
reasonable
could,
thing for
This is a
any.
3 out of 4 caster party.
Yeah.
You guys see 2 Genasi standing there. I'm going to roll for both of them. I'd like you to please roll a stealth check now.
Certainly.
I assume you're gonna like ceiling crawl to not.
Yes,
be in
I
the
am
direct line of
attempting
sight.
to like xenomorph this bitch.
All right, so they add +2 to this.
Spider-Man.
There's
Okay.
2 of them. So we're gonna roll each of their checks. Mm-hmm. So the first one is a 19.
That's pretty good.
What'd you roll?
33.
There we go.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's see. I mean, it's not an automatic success, but let's just see if this guy gets a natural 20. Nope. Really high too, 17 and 19.
Good work, men.
They are very observant, but as you can see, they actually have turned their attention. With the dragon gone, they've actually turned their attention very squarely, like looking out to see what's happening. So though they are very attentive, and an invasion of any kind would probably like cause alarm, they are actually completely shut off to you as you fucking nightmare spider climb across the ceiling, completely cloaked in shadow, like fucking
See why those
symbiote suit
Underdark
Spider-Man.
guys love doing this stuff.
Climb down, open the door to the audience chamber, and then slowly.
Okay, never mind.
It's just me and Virla in her pocket, just hanging out. I can't.
I was going to say.
Yeah, one in each pocket.
I can't speak, but I sort of just wait.
I wait as well. Audience
Two little
chamber.
spider-
Well, I was okay. No, I'm not going to risk this. I was going to say before Kyana enters the audience chamber, because Kyana is still mind linked with Dani, or are they too far away?
I'm still
now?
mind linked with
Yes,
Danny,
but
but
I think she's too far away at this point.
Okay.
Actually, I
Never
have a
mind.
measurement. Give me a sec. Yeah, it's way more than 100.
Okay, never mind then. I was gonna see if Dani could ask the Aranyas if the Flagrar is seeing anyone right now at this very second. Like if Dani has to wait or something like that, but it's too late now.
too late. Yeah. Don't you have a sending spell?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I'll
Keep in mind that she's gonna get the message and then have to ask them,
Right.
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like you'll have to send it back or something like that. So
Yeah.
anyway, there's no one in this
Okay.
chamber.
Have no way to
There's no
send
one in the
back to
chamber.
you, I guess, other than responding immediately.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, you can just
no
respond
one's
to the
there. No one's there. It's okay.
No one's there. There is actually it calls to mind the chamber. It's remember when you saw the fire giants in Brunormer? And they had like the audience chamber, and I was like, it's like kind of low ceilings. It's like very clear that like while there's one chair here, it's kind of like meant to be on an equal footing. Not the case here. This throne is like fucking Cusco. It's not like that high, but it's like raised up off the ground, And like there's like a lower area for you to go stand in that's in the middle of the room. Like kind of like steps, it's like a half step down so that
Fire
you can be
Lord
like
Uh-huh.
down. Yeah, when they're talking to you.
I'm sorry, you've thrown off the Conflagar's groove.
I'm sorry.
Into the lava mode.
And Azer, he's supposed to be dead.
He's supposed to be dead. Fuck, that's so. I love that movie. Anyway, so continuing on.
Oh yeah, the distraction for Cusco. Yeah, let's go.
You go through the door into this little antechamber area. You see there's the door to Flagrar's chambers, the door to the Conflagrar. That's where you're going. And behind you, a door to... I don't know if you guys ever actually asked what that room was.
No.
I don't think we did. It's blank on the map.
Too late now. It is blank on the map.
Could I have... sorry, Austin. Could I have had Emmy be casting Detect Magic? And just... I'm trying to look for arcane wards, any spells in front of any doorways or exits, stuff like that.
Yes. I think... Did we determine
Emmy
if
casts
she's
it.
concentrating or you're concentrating on Detect Magic?
This is true. It
I
does say
think
that
it's
Emmy...
you, because
and
most...
The docent knows the spell Detect Magic and can cast it at will. The docent decides when to cast the spell.
Fair enough. I'll call that her concentration then.
Okay, cool.
Reasonable. It sounds like because most of the time, right, a magic item you cast it, but you're concentrating.
Yeah.
Emmy is a person, so it like kind of seems like she would do it, but
Yeah.
an intelligent sword wouldn't hold the spell.
Not with
if
that attitude.
You would cast it, but not with that attitude. But she decides when to cast it. I'll say reasonable enough. Cool. Yeah. So everything in here has like fire resistance enchantment and shit like that, but nothing that you're specifically looking for.
Okay,
And
cool.
the door that you're about to go through is not like magically warded or anything.
Okay.
Kiana, you
You're
gotta
clear.
open it.
Yes, I gotta
it
open
is
it.
locked.
Uh-oh.
Stand back.
I can cast Knock.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I've never
Okay,
picked
just
a
so you
lock in
know,
my life.
knock does make a knocking sound that could be heard
Oh
for 300
shit, you're
feet.
right. I
how
read that earlier and I was like, oh wait, I probably shouldn't
Can
do
I
that, and then I
crawl
completely forgot
into
it.
the lock and yeah, manipulate pins?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Do not get crushed by the pins moving in this lock. You are, if you turn
Yeah, I think it might be
Finbar
safer for you to just
side
get to
while
the other
in
side
the
of the
lock.
side of the door and unlock it from there.
Is sleight of hand what you use for lockpicking?
It is. Do you have thieves' tools?
Let me check my inventory. Probably not, though.
Oh.
Is there a crack underneath the door? Can I just crawl in and... Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Finbar spider goes underneath the door. Wild shapes just unclicks, opens the door for you guys.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's
Good
about
work.
this time that you hear, since there is someone to visit the Flograr, you hear the Flograr's chamber's door start to open.
Get it.
Yeah, Everyone jumps in, closes the door.
All right.
Back against the door.
I want to know what we're looking for.
So you know he is out there.
We
now
gotta
in
find
some
it quick.
capacity.
I'll watch the door.
Maybe we could
You,
lock the door
Finbar,
again.
your passive perception, you hear him exit, lock his chambers, and then enter into the audience chamber, close the door behind him. So he's now 2 doors away.
Good.
Plenty of
This
passive
room has
perception.
no windows, right?
There are no windows and no door. There's the one door. Yeah, it's no windows.
How does Misty Step
Are
work
the
again?
walls themselves enchanted to like prevent teleportation? I'm thinking like, I don't know, like fucking how Hogwarts doesn't allow apparition.
No, there is no. There are spells like that exist. They're very powerful and difficult to do.
Okay.
There is none of that here. Go ahead and with your detect magic, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Me?
Yeah.
Alright.
Unless someone else has got detect magic up.
17.
Not bad.
17? Fantastic. So, first off, just on a 17, there is a magical harp that's hanging up on the wall here. I don't know if that's of any interest to you, but
Is it just
it's
a
pretty
noir?
obvious.
Bard.
It is a magical harp. So,
The context
Alright.
audience in a home game, Sophia's character got a magical bagpipes.
you know what? I'd actually
That's true.
more. It occurs to me. Why don't you roll that as take that number and add your investigation modifier instead of your perception? Because
Oh,
it
that's even
seems to
better
me that
then.
you would be searching the room. So I think
23.
that's reasonable. 23. Okay, yeah, more than enough. Okay, so you start to go through. First off, there are lots of there's like a bookshelf in here. There's a nice desk. It's like kind of partitioned a little bit. The map, it's just a square, but there's like some partitions in here. It's a working chamber and a living chamber for this man. Maybe not his whole house, but there's a bed and like a wash basin and shit in here, right? There's a bookshelf that does catch your eye. There's a book on there that is titleless because most of the other ones have they're like real books. So there's one that has no title. It seems to be like a journal or something.
Okay.
There is a chest behind the desk, but behind the chest, with a 23 investigation check, you notice that there is a magically locked, illusioned away safe, like in the wall. Like there's a chest here, but then behind it is some sort of magically guarded box to get into.
Okay. I am going to drop shrink so that I can move freely throughout the room.
Sophia's just been sprinting around the office here.
Like Plankton trying to play the harmonica. Yeah. But no, I'll tell Kyana Kyana and Finbar about the stuff in the room. Do I know what kind of magic is around that safe area?
Gotcha. So behind the chest in the safe in the wall, there is a actually it's what's the word for it? So it's abjuration to keep the thing sealed, but it's also, I think, enchantment would be the right one. To your eyes, it looks very much enchanted, like by an artificer. Like you've seen Dani's enchantments and how they work. This looks very much like an artificer enchantment. It is. Go ahead and make me an Arcana check.
Sure.
So to see if you can discern exactly what it wants.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20? Dirty 20 is what you needed. Well, a natural 20 would have done too. But a dirty 20, you look at it and you start to kind of like piece together. I imagine like kind of like the Indiana Jones like chin rub, like watch as you're looking at the idol kind of thing. There is a way to unlock it that would require thieves' tools. However, it also has a verbal passcode lock to get it to open.
I will relay that information to my friends, and then I'm gonna go for the book that is titleless.
Cool. You go and you pull the book off the shelf, flip through. This is this is a book listing the detailed plans for teleportation circles. Why don't you go ahead and roll 1d6 for me?
Teleportation circles. That's a 6.
For 6 different planes of existence. Locations on 6 different planes of existence. A note that if you have if you cast plane shift when you have a teleportation circle, it will lead you to that location or the nearest possible location if you don't fit.
Wait, okay, hold on.
So teleportation circles are meant for traveling within a plane.
Yes.
So if you cast teleportation, you travel to that circle if you're on the same plane. It doesn't work interplanar. But if you use plane shift, if you cast plane shift, and instead of using a tuning fork, you use the circle, you can't go anywhere on the plane, but you could go to that circle.
To that circle. Does it? So it lists the specific locations and the
It
planes?
does, and I will. I didn't know how many you were going to roll, so I'll get them to you after this session. But yes,
Okay.
you
Virla will
unlock
commit that
6
to
different
memory.
locations on planes of existence. Committing it to memory is going to be. I'll need a check for you to memorize this because you don't have like keen mind or anything.
Yeah, sure.
So why don't you go ahead and roll me just a raw intelligence check, and we'll say this is only possible because like you can copy stuff so quickly. But keep in mind, like, you know, time the hourglass is flipped here. So go ahead and roll me in what do you call it? Check an intelligence check.
Intelligence. But it's pretty clear that this actually doesn't have anything to do with our current task.
Correct.
Still
Yeah.
pretty
This
cool,
is
though.
this is spare.
14.
14. So a DC of 10, and every single one that you can, every 5 above that, you get an additional. If there's any way you want to try and boost it, you can. But sitting here, I will give you the choice of one plane, and because you'll get to pick, you'll get the choice of one plane to
Okay. Sure.
to add to you, and you'll have a location on that. And
All right,
again,
that's
I'll
fine
get
then.
that to you.
If this is a new day,
shortly.
I didn't get a
But
chance to roll my
very cool.
Cosmic Omen, so I might be able to juice that up.
Oh, please, yeah, Cosmic Omen.
That is
Wheel or well?
even, and I think that might be wheel. Even is wheel. Yeah, I'll throw a d6 on top of that.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey,
Okay.
if you hit
Are you rolling or
a
am I?
hit a 1, you'll get 2. If you hit a 6, you'll get.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll, Wally.
d6.
Your d6.
That's a 6.
That's 3. We're gonna get 3. All right.
Cool. All right.
So cool. So
That's great.
Finbar's gonna
as
whisper.
how does Finbar use his cosmic understanding of the events to come to influence to make Velo write faster?
Finbar's gonna whisper across the room. Is that it? You found the information? Make sure you can jot that down. And he's going to sort of tap the diamond on his face, and it's going to glow a little bit. He can't have access to the night sky, so they're going to sparkle a little bit, and he's going to send a little magic his way across the room. He thinks he found the information, and he just wants him to write it down or memorize it. And throw a d6 over your way.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So I
All right.
learned 3.
Yep.
Choose 3.
So
All right,
I'll
that's pretty
get you
good.
the list, and you can pick from 3.
right.
But let's continue on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a safe with a passcode. There's a chest. There.
Oh,
What would you guys like to do?
I will explain that it seems as though the safe can be picked if we have thieves' tools. It seems to also respond to some
Can't
sort
you
of audio
just
cue.
get rid of the magic? Just
I don't have dispel magic, unfortunately.
I got
I
something
don't
like
have thieves' tools.
And I have
I've got dispel magic. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can I will go and I will sort of. I was going to do this anyway. I'll pat Finbar on the shoulder and I will cast guidance on him.
Okay. This is an ability check.
So I see what you're doing.
Finbar.
Appreciate it.
By the way, actually, does Cosmic Omen work on ability
Cosmic
checks?
Omen, attack throw, saving throw, and an ability check.
Sweet. Yeah. Okay. So it worked on Virla's. Go ahead if you want to try and dispel.
I thought we already had the
enchantment.
information. It's not in the book?
No, this is something different entirely.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
We'll talk about that later. Just make sure you put that book back. We can't really be
We might have. That's why I was trying
Shouldn't.
to copy it down.
smart. All right.
And I put it back.
I'll move the chest. Go up to the safe. All right, pixies. They all shoot out. One of them with a stethoscope. The other 3 of them on the knob. And I'm going to put my hands on the chest, and I'm going to cast Dispel Magic. On the wall safe.
Cool. On the wall safe.
Yeah. It moves the
is
chest
like
away.
a decoy in front of it. Clearly. Yeah. You go and you cast Dispel Magic. I'd like for you to roll. It's just a Wisdom check for you to see if you can dispel, because I don't think you have a high enough spell level to fully. Yeah. So go ahead and roll and tell me the result.
Yeah.
Keeping in mind you have a D4 guidance and your Cosmic Omen
I
if you
roll
need
the
it.
d4? Does Wally roll the d4?
Typically the player rolls a D4,
Yeah.
but why don't we get Noir in on this roll? Go ahead and roll the D4 for Noir.
Yeah, teamwork.
I've never cast guidance before. I legitimately did not remember.
Oh yeah, which by the way, Finbar, how does it feel to have a cosmic guide cast on you? How does Virla cast guidance, and how does Finbar feel having someone else using the cosmos to direct him as opposed to the other direction?
Kind of in the same way that he was casting Healing Word, instead of sort of using the weave as it is sort of a series of threads, he is sort of converting the energy of the weave and using it for a different purpose. And so I suppose it would feel a lot like how you would imagine it feels like when you cast guidance, because that's the point of reference that Virla's going off of. So
As Finbar feels the magic, he says, "Wow, you heal a little bit, and now you got guidance on me. Y'all won't need me in a couple more weeks.
I can retire
We'll be fine.
tomorrow. Go home
It's
to my.
perfectly fine.
I'm retiring tomorrow.
One thing at a time,
Better
though.
not
Let's just see
jinx me.
if we can get
why
this
else
thing
have I
open.
committed these skills? Why else have I committed myself to learning these skills?
Fair enough.
All right.
I rolled a natural 19 though.
Natural 19
Yeah.
plus your wisdom
Plus
is a
4
2.
is 23.
Plus the
2 is
D4.
25.
25
Guidance.
is plenty more than what you needed. Although it was a higher DC. It was not 25. You place your hands and you watch as the enchantment fizzles. Both, like all the enchantments. The safe dial, which is looks more like a kind of like a compass rose than like a typical like sundial, right? It's got like all these like little points and stuff on it. You see it like goes and spins, and the thing swings open. Inside, first off, you don't have time to count it, but I'll just let you know there's 10,000 gold pieces worth of gems and treasure in here. I don't know if you're going to steal any of that. There are a series of ledgers stacked in here.
I definitely grab the ledgers first, then I see the gold, and I'm like, that's pretty penny. And then I slam the door shut.
Dani's already upset. I think she'd be happier if we stole her something.
If we stole the gems, then it might lead them to think that the gems were the more important theft than the ledgers.
Ooh, that's a good point. It might throw them off the trail.
His rationalization.
Throw them off the
How
scent.
big is the chest? How big is the safe?
That's a good question. It's got to hold several stacks of books and 10,000 gold pieces worth of rare gems. So, I'd say maybe it's like a 1.5 feet wide and like 2 feet deep.
Maybe we should have grabbed that bag and hold it. Anyways, I guess I'll grab like 100 gold or something. Wait, you want to grab all of it?
Finbar picks up 1 ruby.
Wait. So Finbar's like I don't know how to do
We
this.
can discuss this. We can discuss it.
all of it.
Give me the
Okay,
ledgers.
here's
Give me the ledgers.
We grab all of it. We grab like all the gold, or
Well, we'll discuss this. I'm now trying to like speed read the ledgers and trying to figure out if this is what we're
Cool.
looking for.
Go ahead, make me an intelligence check.
I would like to find the
Go
largest
investigation.
blue gem in the safe.
I immediately just like chuck
Looking
that
for a blue
across
gem?
them to you.
A beautiful sapphire worth 250 gold pieces.
Perfect. It goes in the pocket.
I rolled a 3, so that's an 11.
If only we had Flash of Genius.
There's a lot of numbers in here.
Shit.
Uncertain which book you're gonna need. You're probably gonna need to take them all.
Can you shrink yourself and the books?
I think anything that I hold will get shrunk. So yes.
Oh, in that case, here, hold this. And I grab the whole thing.
Okay, but Firla, if you drop it, I think it goes back to normal.
It does. Yes. So
All right, just bundle it up and tuck into the pocket, and you'll be fine.
Oh god.
All right.
Okay, so
are
how
we...
much are you taking? Are you
I
taking
guess
the
we're
books?
taking all of it.
What's your strength score?
So
+1.
okay, yeah, no, you can hold.
it's not negative. That's
You
good.
can hold.
So
Yeah,
we're
I
in
mean,
the
like,
plane of salt. It's just mysterious stuff everywhere. I find a ship, right? And it's made of, you'll never guess this, bone.
Bones?
Bone!
And then what happened?
There's bones in there.
Bones in there!
I guess I'm taking everything.
Okay. So I realize we didn't really discuss the extraction plan. Will Misty Step
No, you
actually
really
work to
didn't.
get us out of here?
It could. But what could also happen is this. I can basically do the thing that I was going to
Dimension
suggest
door?
when you were trying to get out of hell. I dimension door out with Kyana, who remains aloft because of flight. I dimension door back in, and then I grab Finbar, and then we dimension door back out.
How far can you dimension door me?
400 feet.
That's actually far
Fi-
enough to get out
500
onto the
feet.
street.
Wow. I mean, I'm not averse to this concept. Can you do that while carrying all of the books?
Whatever whatever objects anyone is carrying when I
brought
teleport
with
them gets
you, yeah.
teleported. So if Finbar were to hold all of the items, it would be kind of conspicuous because we would just be out in the street holding a bunch of gold. But I mean, yeah, we could do it. It would take 18 seconds, I guess. Then
I'll take it.
'Cause-
Let's go.
All right. If I were to cast Shrink, it would be, I think, only on one of the items. So it wouldn't really make sense to... Wait, hold on. It's a single bag of 10,000 gold worth?
It's like a couple bags.
Can we grab the whole safe?
All right.
Is what I'm saying.
Shrink the whole
Kiana's
safe.
pretty strong. Kiana could probably just take it out of the wall. That would be a stealth check of some kind. Ripping a safe out of a wall is definitely loud.
Is
Like,
it more
I haven't had you guys
suspicious?
roll again because you're like tiptoeing around, I assume.
Wait,
and, like,
hold on.
whispering.
Finbar,
That's fine. But
you carry all the stuff. I'll shrink Finbar, put Finbar in Kiana's pocket, and then I teleport Kiana.
if you teleport Kiana, you're gonna leave Finbar to just fall to the ground because you can't take more creatures.
Okay.
No matter how tiny they are.
Okay.
Three dimension doors will do it
Yeah.
though.
3-dimension
will.
doors will do it. 3-dimension doors and a shrink
Okay,
spell.
here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace again. It literally covers the area in silence. You can pull the safe out of the wall. Won't make any noise.
I think it would be look.
I
optics
gingerly
wise, I
put
think
the
it's
chest
more
back
suspicious.
in front, and everything's good.
I think
No,
it's
no, no,
more
no.
suspicious to be carrying a safe that's clearly just been ripped out of a wall.
Before.
So
Okay.
we're at this fancy gala, right? I'm wearing what is like clearly designer.
You guys made it so far with no problems, only to run into the problem of should
Before
I
I
rip a
teleport
safe out of the
Finbar,
wall
before
or
Finbar and
just
I
carry
teleport,
the
I will
gold?
shrink Finbar and put him in my pocket. Finbar holding all of the treasure. Okay?
Fine. All right.
We'll do that.
Fair enough.
All right, Kiana, get ready to bamf out
God,
of here.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but you guys are driving me nuts. If Finbar turns into a spider, all the equipment he's holding morphs into his form.
Oh,
I was like, I'll let them. They should know their own
works.
rules, but
Never
you're
mind.
driving me nuts.
it's
Finbar's
not like I'm
spider form
playing
will take
another
care of
druid
this.
in another campaign.
We're grabbing the safe ring. What?
No,
Okay,
we're leaving
fine.
the safe.
We're leaving
trying
the
to
safe.
delay.
safe.
We're trying
I
to
take the
delay
treasure.
the crime being noticed as
Okay,
much as possible,
cool.
as long as possible.
Yeah, who knows
They're going
when
to
this
notice
guy's
a
gonna get
missing
back.
safe before they notice that the contents of the safe
Cool,
are missing.
yes.
I jump onto the table. I've got the Spitfire in one hand and my cannon in the other. And I turn to the guy and I say, I'm a really good mechanic. And then boom!
Okay, so grab the gold, close the safe, slide the chest back in there, turn into a spider, and I wait until Virla comes back.
Okay. I am basically expending all my 4th level spell slots to Dimension Door Kiana. The thing is that do I have a sense of, do I know, like, a rough idea of how far we are from the ground?
Make an intelligence check.
Yeah,
come
that's
on,
the
man.
other thing.
For the record, you can safely drop me most heights, just not into lava if you can help it.
True.
You also can fly right now.
Well, if you go 500 feet out, you're definitely not gonna hit lava. Like, lava is only like 100 feet across. It's just
Dirty
a height.
20.
There we go.
Dirty 20? Yes, I'll say that's enough because
Can't
you have a
also
pretty
fly.
good. You've been watching this place. I actually have the measurement here, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Some
40,
inconspicuous alley.
It's
preferably.
something. It's something like you're like 60 feet in the air, something like that. So yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, you go ahead. Dimension door.
Yeah.
Kiana and
Bamf.
Virla fade from view.
Poof.
Finbar, Spider Finbar. There is a really tense 6 seconds that you just left
Counting
alone.
them out.
And then Virla teleports back in. Virla, just roll me a d20. If you hit a 1, you step on Finbar. Just roll me a d20. You hit a 1, you step on Finbar.
Don't you dare.
Oh, thank God. 15.
Okay.
You bamf back in. I go,
Cushion damage! I turn it back into Finbar.
and Finbar dies. That's it.
It was a chance. It was always a
Papers
chance.
everywhere.
I think it might be
Spider-
kind of comedic if Virla did think of that beforehand, and so as he's dimension door, he just kind of jumps in the air, so that when he bamps into the room, he's just frantically looking and seeing if he can land somewhere where Finbar isn't. But whatever. All right. Well, now he's frantically looking around for Finbar.
Clamber up onto your
Cool.
your sleeve, onto
Yeah.
your shoulder. Do a little jig
Ew.
and die.
Spider jig. Yeah. And bam, dimension door out.
Yep, I get out.
Everyone's is friendly.
Kiana, do you want to try and send a psychic message to Dani, or are you just gonna let Dani go through all
She's fine. She's having a good time.
She's a little out of range, I think, unless I can
Well,
get.
she has several minutes. If you want to get move through
Fly.
the city to get back in range.
If I can sidle back to being within 100 feet of wherever she's posted up, casually
I'll
and
allow it.
inconspicuously, then I'll be like, hey, we're extraction complete. We got a big pile of stuff that probably has the stuff we need in it, because there's not much stuff left in the room we got it from. Oh god. Yeah.
Amazing. Dani, you get that message. You're still talking to the dragon. Presumably, whenever you're done, you're gonna go up and talk to this military dude. Do you want to go through with that, or do you just want to try to bail now? What's your opinion?
Does it seem like there's a way for me to bail, or does it seem like it would be more suspicious if I just turned around and was like, actually, I gotta go?
This is up to Sophia / Dani intuition. Like, you get the sense no one's gonna stop you if you leave. Like, they're not gonna be like,
my gut is
"Stop that
saying
girl."
if I turn around and leave at the exact moment that a heist has just happened, it might look a little sus. Whereas if I go in for an audience and then they discover the heist, it'll be like, whoa, you have an
true.
alibi this whole time maybe, and you didn't know this was happening, or else why would you be here still?
That's true, but from what you've learned from Kyana, hopefully no one knows a heist has gone on. And if this dude isn't back for days, no one's going to be able to pin down the time, right? So it's a you decision of like, you know, one path is going to like maybe be a little suspicious because you came but then you left. The other path is going to get you more remembered by people because you went in and talked to the dude in charge.
Hear me out. You go in, you have this audience, they find out a heist has been happening, they know you're an adventurer, and then they hire you to investigate the heist.
I'm always playing both sides so that I am on top.
layers.
Yeah. Dani does the, like, street smarts math in her head as much as Dani ever can. And it's like, at this point, I'm memorable. Turning around and leaving is going to be suspicious. I might as well just commit and go through with the meeting.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You talk to the dragon for a bit.
Yeah, and so they had the bomb is attached to the ship, and I'm like, we gotta get this out of here. So I actually used a catapult
Enough
spell
of the
to
chit-chat.
launch it.
The flagrar is waiting currently.
Oh, sorry. It's been nice talking to you.
They're no fun around here.
Yeah.
No fun around here. Yeah. All right. Well, you're clean, so you know.
All right, thanks, man.
Do you want to lift?
Sure.
You want to lift? I'll carry you up. Cool. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just scoops you up in his claw and flies you up, deposits you. You see the same scene that everyone else saw, which is the Efreeti, the sentry chamber. 2, Genasi watches you walk past. 1 walks up with you, opens the door, and announces your presence. As you enter, you see the room that already described this, chair that's got like a flame motif, obviously, kind of on the back, this high back, and this red skin, so Efreeti are large, right? They're like 10 feet tall. They have, bright red skin, black hair. This one has, gold, like anklets and bracelets, this beautiful red silk, like robe with kind of like some golden armor placed around it, just sitting there, lounging in the chair. And you approach, he says, "What business do you have at the Castle of Sun and Moon?"
Dani goes to tip a hat that doesn't exist, then stops herself.
Danny's really on about this
What the
fucking
fuck
hat.
am I at?
Should have put a hat in the safe. Sorry, it was only 10,000 gold worth of rare gems.
Buy a hat, maybe? No.
Buy a hat.
Do I know, like, as someone who grew up in the city, how much... Because Dani's instinct is to be like, "G'day, my name is, I'm here for blank." Do I have any sort of formality that I think I might need to attach to the front of that?
An introduction, a bow, and like a kind word to like thank you for allowing me to what's the word I'm looking for?
Petition.
Like, grace
or
your presence, basically. Yeah.
Alright.
Some flattery will get you a long way, probably.
G'day, Your Excellence. My name is Dani. I am an...
Danny, what?
It's just Dani.
Dani, just Dani? Okay.
Dani, just Dani.
Thank you for your time and presence. I am a humble mechanic and adventurer who is dissatisfied with their current work and looking for more interesting and valuable projects in the future. And I thought, where better to go than the Castle of Sun and Moon for such interesting things to do. Dani's trying not to shit herself right now.
Yeah.
You are bold to come all the way to Krakana Hiran to sell your services. Tell me, do you have what it takes to serve the Sultan and the interests of the great city of Brass, most opulent of all the Planescape?
I could never hope to touch the gleam of the city, but to work in support of it is a service I can offer.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
I'm getting the weirdest lawful vibes from Dani through the mind link.
Dani gets another job.
Her brain
Nice.
has never felt like that
This
before.
is how Dani leaves the show, actually. She's just going to become a bureaucrat.
11 plus 5, and I'm going to use Flash of Genius on that bad boy to bring that up to a 19.
Are you sure you want to succeed on this?
Okay. What are you
wanna-
hoping
you wanna
to
pass this?
convey? Yeah, I was going to say, so, by the way, like, it's not like if you had rolled a 1, I would have been like, cool, he lets you go, because that's a success, right? High roll is you accomplishing what you want. So, with a dirty 20, what
it's
is
a
Dani
19,
attempting
but
to do here?
yes.
Oh, sorry, with a 19, what is Dani attempting to do?
Slightly
Primary
plus
goal?
19.
Does she want to enlist? Because I think the answer is probably no.
No, I think she's primary goal, get out of here with no waves rocked. Above all else, that is the success that she's looking for. If she could pick up some freelance work, I guess. Like, if they have an odd job they need an adventurer for.
With a 19, you know what? We're gonna do one quick charisma roll, wisdom roll for this guy. He stands up, approaches you, kind of expects you to like bow your head down a little bit, kind of like observes you, then returns and sits in the chair in the throne thing again, and says to you,
Leave your name and residence contact with the Arenyas on your way out. If we have need of a spare artificer to work on our carpets or gondolas, we will be in contact. You are dismissed.
Thank you for your time, Your Excellency.
And Dani will bow and exit backwards while bowing.
He lets you leave your resume.
man, it would have
That's
been really funny
great.
if you rolled a 1 and I made you sign up for the military.
Dani would not have forgotten to live in the crew.
Boot camp episode while everyone else is planning a wedding.
Buzz cut
yeah.
Dani coming
Danny
coming your way.
Danny sees in.
Hell yeah. So, Dani, you go back out, dragon, flashes you a peace sign, claws. You make your way back out into the city and find 3 waiting idiots eagerly waiting your arrival.
Oh gods, we were worried.
Get-
Are you okay?
Leave! Go!
Yep.
Why are you
sauntering
still
out?
here?
Well,
I'm still a spider.
Back we go. Yep. We're just vibing.
Did I catch the dragon's name at some point in our conversation? Did this come up?
Dragon name. Dragon
Dragon's
name.
name.
Dragon name. Dragon name.
Yeah, give me a sec. It's here somewhere. Hold on.
It's short for Timobraxius, the Scourge of Worlds, but you know.
You could just call him Tim.
Yeah. Scourge of Worlds is actually his father's name.
Job, kind of not really liking where he's at right now. Wants to
I mean, at least
do
it's
other
not
things.
something silly like Karun Atrocity.
Cool.
At least
The
Timobraxius is
dragon's
easy to
name is
spell.
the dragon's name is Kalimrax.
Kalimrax.
Kalimba?
Yeah, Kalimba.
Okay.
Dragon's name's Kalimba. It's Kalimrax.
Kalimrax.
Guns akimbo.
Fantastic.
Oh my god. Please don't ever make me do anything like that again. I thought I was
Head back to the ship.
I'm so sorry. Can I offer you this nice sapphire in this trying time?
What?
What?
No! Got it!
No, we're well out of the. I'm not gonna do that
No,
when we're
no.
like in range of it.
You guys are like walking away now. Yes, Kyana just
Let's
pulls
get
up
on
this
the ship
beautiful
first.
sapphire.
Alright, so a couple of good things. We're pretty sure we weren't seen. We found a number of books which we think are the evidence, but I need to peruse them more closely to confirm it. Maybe when I'm not under a time pressure. I found locations of teleportation circles in some other planes of existence that we might be able to utilize. Again, I need to sort of look into this a bit more. Not sure if this necessarily was the best idea. There was also a non-zero amount of gold
As
in
you
the
say
safe.
that, I
which we
exit
took.
my wild shape and splatter on the floor.
Did you
Hear me out.
steal gold
Hear me out.
from the castle
Hear
of
me out,
the
hear me out.
sun and moon?
No.
Is that bad?
We stole 10,000 gold worth of precious gems. Hear me out. We need to fence this immediately and as soon as possible, but once the conflagrar finds that the safe is empty, he will think that the main theft was the jewels, not the ledger.
But both of them are missing.
Yes, but he will think that the jewels are the more important part.
Really?
Maybe.
Jewels are more expensive than books.
Yeah, but like, you of all people should know information is valuable sometimes, right?
I also know that not everyone values the same things that I do.
I guess. Look,
Either way.
you gotta get that stuff. That's such. Oh my god, we gotta get out of the city.
We will
Can we
immediately
leave
fence it.
immediately?
Yeah, we can get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gone. If you want, we can just give all the gold to
No,
Zim and
Wow.
say that this
Why would
is her problem.
No. She doesn't
I
get
don't know.
anything. She didn't do much. She was here, she provided intel, and now she can leave.
You could have
Okay, so-
detected magic on the gems to make sure, like, they didn't have like a tracking spell, like property of scary guy,
The
right?
dispel magic.
you
He
just
didn't
had
get.
it running?
Virla didn't have any detect magic on any of the gems or anything.
As
I
in,
mean, didn't find anything.
Like
so.
there was no
that's a
enchantment on
slightly different thing.
them. Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't see any magic on.
For
the
all we
gems.
know, we weren't caught.
Now, could you scry on a gem that's not magical? Bro,
I don't
certainly
think
not if
you
you're on the same
can.
plane of existence.
I don't think you
Alright,
can. I
to
don't
the
think that's a
astral
thing you can
sea.
do.
What if he remembers one of the sapphires?
You can't. You can scry on objects.
Oh wait, maybe you can't actually.
Yeah.
Locations of people. You're right. Yeah.
You know
Locations of
what?
people.
Let's just get to
Locate
the
object.
astral
You're
sea.
Locate object
giving
works.
Danny a
Okay,
massive
there you
headache
go.
right
There
now.
you go.
So you'd really have to search.
Hey.
Just use the gold to repair the ship. Or something. I don't know. Get you another flamethrower.
I'm telling because think about it. If we just left the gold, then they would be like, oh, now they know that the ledger was the more important thing because why'd they leave all this gold? Why'd they leave all of this
The
this
ledger
precious
is
jewelry?
the important thing because the ledger is so not our problem. It's, you know what? It happened. It's there. We're fencing it immediately. We'll take it to that fucking explosion dragon guy or something. I feel like they won't even bother tracking him down.
Sure, I can't believe that he is the most shady person that we have in Sigil.
We could probably find someone shadier, but
Okay.
sorry. Look, we got in, we got
give
out,
it
we
to
didn't
someone
get
powerful.
noticed. Hey, if Golzar cracks down on the dude before he gets
You
back
plant
to us,
it in Otto's office. He goes down for the crime.
In all seriousness, I was thinking of leaving like a calling card like Golzar was here.
If
That would be
But,
such a bad idea.
I just want contraband from here off my ship as soon as possible. So I don't care
It's
if that's
gone.
the book or 10,000 gold worth of gems or what. We're going back to Sigil now, and it's out of here. And I don't want to ever fucking hear from Golzar again, or I will kill him myself.
good luck doing that.
hell.
But you should be hearing from him after this.
Well, Finbar,
What?
is it-
What? If she wants to kill Golzar, I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying it's not gonna be easy.
I think she knew that. All right, let's go. Let's get out of here.
I will be down in the engine room if anyone needs me until we get back to Sigil.
Okay, astral sea time.
Star Wars wipe.
I feel like my logic has the same logic that I had. Well, I feel like I'm just realizing now, this is the same Virla logic as if I look through the Shadakla portal through Bing, then I won't get any bad side effects.
All right, you guys return to the ship. Fantastic. Zimbrissa is gonna like look over your handiwork. Like you guys show up with all the books. She's like, "That's." I'll be honest. Like I wasn't sure if you guys are actually gonna get it done.
I mean, you might have a chance to still, gloat over us. We actually don't know if this has anything meaningful. But it was in a hidden safe, so chances are good. But give me the trip, I'll look over it, and I can confirm whether or not this is useful.
Awesome, I love someone who does the reading for me. That's great.
I'm going to ignore that.
I used to always have someone do my homework, you know.
I know. Okay, good. Looks like we're done here. We're going to get rid of this business with Golzar as soon as possible, and then I never have to see you again. So...
I almost forgot Finbar's ex was
But
just still on the
Finbar-
ship.
But Finbar, how will you know if you're seeing me? And then she just, like, turns into, like, you know, a random dwarf, and then a random air genasi, and then back to Zimmerson.
Finbar rubs his temple and just walks out of the room.
He used to like it.
Let's not go there.
I'm just saying he was more fun.
I walk
Something to
away.
keep in mind. All right, Virla, go ahead. Actually, I won't have you roll. Your high intelligence, and this is kind of your thing at this point. You're able to deduce that yes, these are the books that have been cooked.
So what exactly does that consist of? Like, what does
So
that?
he's
What does that
basically
mean?
lying about what spending is happening, right? So he's got duplicates of things because he's spending a lot of money that's supposed to be going towards military stuff on his own debaucherous, like, exploits, right? Which
Okay.
a lot of it is the searing tongue, where he's like, "Can you get me like, you know, can you feed me like the brain of a Kyrene or something, like this like heavenly unicorn angel thing?" And he's spending like a ton of money on that shit, and it should be going to other places, and he's probably gonna get thrown into a dungeon for a very long time.
Is that all 3 ledgers, or was only one? Like,
There's many books, and it is mostly in one of them. There's one that's like he's actually keeping his real notes in, but you know, in this one, it's pretty obvious that the the lie that is being told, right? So the other ones are good corroboration. This is the one you needed, but you were able to get them all out. So
for thoroughness, I will write a memo indicating
a summary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, would it have been funny if I just put it in the regular ass chest and you guys didn't even bother to check? You're just like,
Would've been
there's
pretty
nothing in there. Just nothing in there.
The conflict was like, they'll never expect that the actual valuables will be in the real chest.
Very, very good. By the way, the from which you can choose 3, the 6 planar teleportation circles are to Easegard, where you've been recently, Gehenna, which is one of the evil planes you have never been to. It's
like
next
that's like
to hell.
neutral evil, isn't it?
It's closer to neutral evil, yeah.
Okay.
Bytopia, of course, a place you've been. Somewhere in the plane of fire, somewhere in the plane of water, and Elysium, which is the neutral good heaven. You may choose 3 of those that you copied into your book. You do not know where they currently go, and you're going to need to like pour over the notes you copy to like do the math out for like, you know, trigonometry where these are fucking leading you. But those are the planes. If you want to think about it, you can.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Okay, cool. Fantastic. Well, you guys make it back to Sigil. Dani. So, Dani, how is your headspace after all of this?
Dani's not feeling great. Dani, really didn't want to do this, and then kind of felt like she had to, and still doesn't necessarily feel like it was worth facing her single greatest fear from childhood, and still pretty afraid of the repercussions of what could happen now that her name is on record. Happy to, in theory, be out from under Golzar's thumb, but feeling a little pissed that they were even in that position in the first place. I think Dani just is generally seething and feeling a little bit out of control in the sense that like she does not have any sort of agency in this whole interaction as much as it is happening to her rather than happening because of choices she made.
Gotcha. In the engine room, all this going through your mind. It's about this time that you hear the sending stone give a little buzz as Otto's voice. Dani!
Otto.
Everything going well over there? Still alive?
Yeah, we're just finishing up. What's up with you?
Oh, not much. Putting my feet up, having a drink, wondering where my best crew is at.
We're just doing we had to stop for sigil and repairs a little bit. We got some banged up in hell, but we'll be back soon.
Well, wouldn't want the ship to go to waste. It's important to take care of it, I understand. Go ahead and roll me a deception check.
Yeah. Okay. Natural 15 plus 1 is 16, and I will use my flash of genius to make that a dirty 20 with my last one of the day.
Yay.
Cool. He says exactly what he just said, and finishes with a, well, don't tell it too long. I'll see you shortly then.
Yep.
Oh, Dani.
Yeah, what?
Good work.
I don't know how to respond to that. Dani will just hang up the sending stone.
Dani puts away the sending stone. Unless there's anything else you guys would like to do, we make it back to Golzar. Yes.
Can at some point during the trip, can I gather Kyana and Finbar?
Of course, yeah.
And I don't know, we'll go into someone's room. Could be mine.
Pretty easily.
Finbar's.
Dani's almost always in the engine room, so it's pretty easy to avoid her.
It's Plug you gotta watch out for.
Ah.
I can't see through Plug in the way that you get familiar, so it really isn't Plug you gotta watch out for, I guess.
My liege. Something to
Dani.
report. Meow 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 meow.
How are you guys feeling?
I think that went pretty
Yeah, I
good.
think that went pretty good. I'm just glad it's done and over with. One less loose end.
I agree. I think for the sake of things, I don't think we can be pulling any... I know that this is kind of rich coming from me especially, but at the same time, I hope you can appreciate the weight that it holds because it's coming from me. I don't think we're really in a position to pull any of that kind of shit anymore.
Agreed.
I'm putting everything out there. There is nothing left that requires the demand of the crew, and I guess more importantly, Dani's ship or Dani's services. There's nothing that I have that could conflict with Otto or the Heap in general. I don't know about the either of you, but if anyone here has anything that could still be considered a loose end, we should just let it out now.
None that I know of.
I don't.
And that's
think so.
kind of where I'm
Okay.
a little concerned. We don't have control over it. It's a big world, there's lots of planes out there, and every once in a while, freak accident like that. How was I supposed to know the job was going to be in City of Brass? I didn't have control over that. I got myself in a position where that might be the case, and unfortunately, it's things like that that's going to upset Dani. And while we can't guarantee that
You're right.
our shenanigans won't, lead to positions like that, at the end of the day, we are adventurers. Everywhere we go, there's potential to leave a loose end. And that's just the line of work that you're in. That's part of the reason why I'm leaving.
Yes, you're right. It was not your choice to go to the City of Brass, and, prod the sleeping bear that is the higher echelons of that city. But it still ultimately was your decision to come to Golzar with that deal in the first place. And I'm not holding it against you. I know the place that you are coming from, and
It was indeed a
do
mistake,
appreciate it.
and
But
I am sorry for that.
I think we might have... I don't know.
I don't want to read too far into it. Dani is pretty guarded. She's spent her whole life doing what somebody else has told her. I think having the Aspera and the freedom to move outside of that is very, very important to her. Although I'm not sure if she wants to think that, because she knows it's conditional. And I think she's not used to us being one of the things tying her down. We're supposed to be part of what makes her free, not something that locks her into other things that she can't get out from. And I don't know what to do about that, but it's not easy feeling tied down by people you love.
It's also not easy when two significant families are actively at odds with each other. I mean, we're not quiet about our distaste for Otto. But I can only imagine how Dani would feel inadvertently making herself the mediator between him and us. And that is extra stress and extra trouble that she could do without. Especially if, we are doing things that could continue to put the ship at risk, and her perception of safety at risk.
We are adventurers. There's only so much we can do to stop that.
The perception of safety isn't the issue. I suppose it's how often that perception of safety seems to crumble when it comes to things that are directly affecting Dani. And whether that's something that she needs to understand for herself, that's not for us to put in front of her. I think it is more our position now to... If she feels like we are tying her down and preventing her from that feeling of freedom, at least for right now, and this conversation could change at a later date, but at least for right now, we need to be on her side for this. If that means that we need to placate ourselves in front of Otto and not be adventurers necessarily, but hired help for a while, so be it. And I know, again, this is a lot, and this is kind of laughable coming from me.
No.
No, it's
And
not. You've made some good decisions, but you could interpret it as...
You could interpret it as, once I got the thing that I wanted to do out of the way, now I'm saying lock it all down.
Yep.
And I'm fully aware of that.
You've done nothing to intentionally compromise anyone's safety, especially Dani.
Not intentionally, but maybe that's the more hurtful aspect of it. I didn't intend for the heist with the Zardazil to go as wrong as it did. But it did. And a lot of that was because of my perceptions towards Otto and my distaste for that job in general. And even though I wasn't actively trying to sabotage that job, the way that I was thinking affected my actions.
Really?
And so either I need to be more aware of that, or I just need to be more...
Your head's in the right place. And you're right. Intentional or not, we have to do our best to make sure our personal affairs don't take away Dani's personal freedom. And then on top of that, we have to support her and her endeavors. You're absolutely right. The question becomes, to what extent is that going to help Dani in the future? And I don't have the answers. I highly doubt there's an answer to all that right now, but...
Me neither. And I'm not even saying that what we are doing, or what I'm suggesting and proposing, is something that we need to do forever. But the thing that I am perceiving is that Dani has been receiving a lot of pushback from us against Otto. And I think it would be wise just for us to reflect, to back off a bit and have that be reflected in our actions. I'm not saying that that's what we need to do forever, but as a means of balancing what has been happening in the last few months especially.
It's hard because I want to protect Dani, And I feel like Otto is somebody she needs to be protected
That's not our
from.
call to make.
And
But
That's not our call to
really
make.
isn't.
well... The
because
thing
then
is,
in
I'm
Dani's
not-
shoes, it's two people that she cares about at each other's throats.
I'm not
And
going to
she
make any
needs-
decisions for her. I'm not trying to go after Otto, but I don't trust
You
him
trust-
enough
Do you trust Dani enough?
to just let him have free reign. I think that being raised by someone who doesn't have your best interests at heart can make it very difficult
I get
to
that.
see that.
Oh, maybe I don't get that. I have a giant family waiting for me at home. I didn't really get that.
Yeah.
But we still,
Then
Dani's a lot smarter than a lot of
me.
us, and we gotta trust that she can come to her own decisions, and we like Villa said, we can support her through those decisions. We don't gotta deal with Otto. Dani gotta deal with Otto, and like Villa says, we gotta make sure to make that as easy for her as humanly possible.
And honestly, if you still feel like you need to be pushing back on this, and letting Dani know your position on Otto, then so be it. I don't think
No,
that
she
is a
doesn't
wrong
need
thing
that
to
from
do,
me. She-
but it's just not something that we should all be doing at the same time, is what I'm saying. Because
I
that
see.
could be too much. So, I guess moderation is really sort of the intent of what I was trying to say, and my perception of it is that we've been leaning too much in one direction, and to balance that, we should probably back off for the time being. Let ourselves settle down, because we've had a pretty crazy
Agreed.
last couple of months.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna do what I do best. I'm gonna go whip something up in the kitchen, and then Villa, later today we gotta go do a little more planning, if that's all right.
Oh, did Elise say yes to
She
Feywild?
said no. We're gonna be looking at places in Sigil. Just as fun.
All right, you guys have fun. Up on the deck.
And yeah,
I knew she wouldn't go for it, man.
I should have listened to you.
Thanks for listening to me, guys.
So
there's
how much was Dani eavesdropping?
None. When the conversation dispersed and someone was making noise in the kitchen, she probably would have popped her head out and been like, Otto called, we gotta do a quick U-turn after we drop whatever we gotta drop in Sigil.
All right. Yeah, no problem. I'm whipping something up. You want anything, or can I just surprise you?
As long as there's hot sauce on it, I don't care.
I got you. No problem.
I would like to play
I
around.
feel like I need to object after I saw you with ice cream and hot sauce. I feel like there's not.
It balances itself
That's
out.
not a great.
It
All right, I'm just
That's
gonna go
not how
steer
that
the ship. These guys have fun.
Fantastic.
Could I play a round of Lucky Bolt while I'm sitting morosely
Go ahead,
in
roll
the
a d6.
kitchen room?
See if you hit the 6.
5.
Maybe next time.
No.
You guys make it back to Sigil. Return to the guild hall. Return to the guild hall. Meet with Golzar. He produces the contract. Takes the books from you. Looks over everything. Gives a smile and a weird kind of scratch on the bottom of his chin. This will do just fine. Excellent, in fact. Thank you for your work. He grabs the contract, does a little flick, and it goes. Flash paper just completely dissolves into flame, and looks at Finbar and says, I guess this finally means that you're done with the guild. Unless you'd like to sign back up. Not as a chef, but as an operative, clearly. We could use you in the more delicate matters that the guild sees to.
Y'all don't need me anymore. Besides, I'm sure Zemi would love an excuse to go mess around with some other people. I'm done. It's been nice, Golzar.
You see Zimbrissa says, as much as I did like the old time's sake, yeah, it'll be nice to do something fresh again.
I keep forgetting she
This was a
here.
little stale. You whisper that, Dani, and she looks over at you and gives a wink again.
Then he just gives
Wow, the air just got weird.
confused
Okay, I
scowl.
think we'll be going now.
Looks at Virla, wink, gives a shrug.
Oh, we forgot to introduce her.
See,
Maybe.
When she has
I
it.
turn to them. You can see why. She'll drive you crazy after a while. Just don't.
She seems
For
nice.
a while. Look at my watch. Look at my non-existent watch on my wrist.
And so yeah, no, that's it. I don't got nothing else to say. We're done here.
Then I guess there's nothing else
Yeah.
to say. Good doing business with you. And he just begins to pen something, probably a letter to someone in brass to let them know what the fuck's going on.
I will give him a polite nod, head for the door, and usher the crew out.
We have your word that if anyone asks, we weren't here and we didn't give
Yeah,
you
it
those.
was-
Yes.
Einad of the
Of course.
and crew.
Nope.
Plausible deniability. None of you were ever involved or hired by the guild. In fact, he sweeps a little bit of ash off the desk. There are no records suggesting any such thing now that Finbar has signed himself away.
I hold you to your word.
You should.
All right.
All right, I hold the door open for everyone else.
Let's
then, yep.
skedaddle.
Last thing, just watch the door close with Golzar and Zimbrisa in it disappear. Perhaps the last any of you will ever see of them.
Thank God.
All right, so definitely
Thank
not
God.
on the list.
Yeah, no, she's.
They are not. They're not on the wedding list.
At some point, you got to talk to Elise. She has a bigger list of people that's not gonna be showing up. We might have to get security.
Okay. Sure. I was planning on talking to Elise anyway, just making sure that we were all on the same page. Does she have a maid of honor?
She hadn't really talked to me about her wedding party yet.
Okay, I'll handle it.
No.
No.
Please.
We could bring
Alright,
Bo back just for that.
Mel needs to do a speech.
All of the grung that we've ever seen in this series come back just to be in Lisa's wedding party.
Next campaign, all grug.
All grung.
Yeah.
Oops, all grung.
All grug.
Actually,
I love grug.
who do we know anyone in Sigil who would fence
my
this?
brother played a grug in a one-shot called Zoog Stickyfoot.
I forgot Zoog.
Every
Yes.
grung is the best grung that's ever existed.
Yes.
There has never been a bad grung, is the thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Virla, good thought. Do we know anyone in Sigil who could fence this stuff?
Legitimately, all I can think of is the fucking shady potion dealer.
I'm sure, if I knock on some doors, we could find
It's-
someone.
You could go to Hira.
We could go to Era.
We could super go to Hera.
Hira is
We could go
almost
to Hira.
certain wealthy enough to exchange this for you, and also probably important enough to
Actually,
Like-
yeah.
They
Not
seem
be-
like
yeah.
a
We'll do
safe
that.
bet.
So, yeah, so we don't need to play all of that out, but you guys
No.
can visit Elise and exchange. And I think with that, we'll go ahead and end this episode of Rolling with Difficulty.
Another heist.
Woo.
Another
did
heist?
it.
Okay, the heist part?
I like my heists. Also, I like doing heists where it's hot, apparently. This is actually from, if you enjoyed this, you can adapt your own version of it from Keys to the Golden Vault.
Oh.
Oh, huh.
You heard it
Alright.
here first.
Cleanest heist we ever did, you guys.
Yeah, this is the
actually.
cleanest
Yeah.
heist we've ever did. We are what?
Well, that's
1 and 2?
Here's the thing: is if you guys had to fight at all, it almost certainly would
Oh,
be
yeah.
catastrophic. That was the subtext,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like the whole time.
Yeah.
If you guys had to fight, like there's like 100
Yeah.
guys in here, and also they would have known your face, and then there would have been a whole like manhunt.
Yep.
thing. So,
Haha.
yeah,
Crazy.
good fucking
Mhm.
shit. Also, the chest was a mimic. If you opened it up, it was a mimic.
Amazing. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Why do
Oh,
we have
man.
no rogues in this party?
Oops, no roads.
Fantastic.
We don't need rogues. What do you mean?
Who needs rope?
We just need a spider Finbar and a tiny
that's all
Virla
you
and a
need.
flying
That's all you
Kyana.
need.
That's one rogue.
When you guys
Equals
went
one
enough these
rogue.
tools, we
Yeah.
could go on for forever. Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you
See you
next
later.
time.
Adios.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rolling with Difficulty. The crew of the Aspera will return next week for another thrilling installment, but if you miss us before then, you can visit us on Rolling with Difficulty's Discord linked in the show notes below. Got any questions, comments, or concerns? Feel free to email us at rollwithdifficulty@gmail.com. If you enjoyed the show, please rate us and leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. And if you really enjoyed the show, consider becoming a patron for even more exclusive content, like art from the cast, stories about NPCs, and homebrew like the Bard College of Feasts subclass. Thank you to everyone who has been supporting the show and listening, and we'll catch you out on the Astral Sea.